Bitches of the Boy. This is Rose.
Oh, and I'm Jess.
I'm Brody.
And this is One Frame Off.
Sorry, I thought you were about to jump straight into the introduction right there.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had like something like really elaborate planned.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
We never do.
Just our void babies.
Void babies.
I love that. It reminds me of like void eggs and void chickens from Stardew Valley.
Oh my god.
Right?
I have not played that game. No, I started it. I started playing Stardew Valley. It's not as fun.
Oh my god.
It looks like
I'm
more
gonna
work than fun.
Stop it now, guys. Stardew Valley is amazing. I go at least once a year. I spend a good 3 to 4 months just playing it nonstop.
I think it's well established that I don't particularly... I'm not very fond of games like that because I'm not a big fan of Animal Crossing. I'm not big on Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it sounds like you would definitely like it because you play like The Sims like 24/7.
Yeah, I do.
Yes,
I'm big into simulation games, but it's different than that. It's like it's a dungeon crawling game. It's a crafting game. It's even a dating sim. Like there's a ton of different other stuff to do. There's fishing. There's collecting. There is an end game. Like the
Crafting.
game does end after 3 years. It's not
Mining and crafting.
Yeah, Minecraft. Brody, you were playing Minecraft last night. I saw on my Switch.
Well, now everyone knows. God damn it.
I was like, oh, nice. Brody switched it up because it's usually Smash Bros. Or Animal Crossing.
Look, I'm just gonna say they made a new update where the ceiling is higher and the floor is lower, and it completely rechanges the landscape. It's a whole new Minecraft, baby.
Yeah,
I love Minecraft.
2.0.
We should all get on a server together. It's so much
should.
fun. Yeah.
Didn't they add a few new biomes as well?
Yeah, they did. They made some weird stuff. First of all, like the mountains are like snowy top mountains, which is cool. But I'm trying
to think. I'm like, I haven't played Minecraft in forever. I didn't know they didn't have snow caps. I just built giant farms.
They kind of had snow caps before, but it wasn't as when Brody says like they made the ceiling higher, there is a certain number of like Minecraft blocks
upwards
right.
has been extended and lower, upper and lower, yeah.
So they can actually have a proper snow-capped mountain range now.
They also made it so that way like underground cliffs are like way bigger. Underground cliffs and chasms that you have to go through.
Did they change anything in the end?
I've never been to the end.
I haven't either.
I have never in a survival game just made it to the end.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the Nether? Do you know what?
Oh, I mean, like I always go to the Nether.
I've never been to the Nether.
Never been to the Nether?
No, I'm like too afraid to.
It's not that bad. So long as you
even the Enderman.
No, I take that back. The Nether's gotten scarier.
Has it?
Yeah, they added biomes in there. They added little things that like crawl through lava. They made
crawl
like
through lava.
You heard me.
What?
They made actual like warrior pigmen. There used to be just like the zombie pig people,
Yeah,
but now
I heard about that.
But you can trade with them, so they're kind of cool. I like them.
You can still trade with them?
Yeah, they're buds.
Okay.
Just throw them some gold, and they'll give you something.
I need to explain that my hesitation is like I'm just afraid of losing all my stuff.
Well, that's why you get an ender chest.
And you can just turn that off.
So basically,
I can?
Yeah, it's like one of the menu settings. You can turn it off so that way you keep your inventory when you die. It's seen as a big weenie move, but I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Then I would be more into exploring more, but like, is it a weenie move? I don't know. It saves you a lot of time.
Well, here's the other thing. You can do an ender chest, which is basically you have a set of chests. You put it in one location. You put chest A in one location. You can carry chest B around with you.
Does an ender chest connect to all other ender chests?
No, it just connects to the set that you made.
It's like Vanishing Cabinet for all of my Harry Potter bros and sisses.
Yeah. So you can do that. You can carry around an ender chest. So if you die, if you die and lose ender chest B, it doesn't mean you lost everything.
Because it'll be in ender chest A.
Yes. But if it has a very limited amount of space, though.
Are they difficult to craft?
No.
Yeah.
Kind of. Craft, yes. Crafting, no. Gathering the materials, yes.
Well, I mean, like crafting and anything is that. Yeah, you just described all of Minecraft. You don't actually put effort into crafting. It's getting everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Jess is like, is it hard to craft? No, of course it's not. It's
Yeah, you just put it on.
You have to get everything else for it.
All right. Well, I will. If I play again, I'll do like Brody and just turn off the losing inventory when you die thing. It'll
And
make
please
a
do
little
it
more
on the Switch so we
adventurous.
can all have a little neighborhood.
I would like that. I love
wanna do
building.
that?
Yeah, I love building giant farms and having lots of pigs and dogs. Well,
That's
they're
nice.
wolves, but I call them dogs.
Well,
I
you-
mean, you can train them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have
And then they're
a
just
pet.
puppies.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a horse or like the donkey though.
Ooh, horses are fun.
Yeah, I've never done that. Well, sometimes I
Cows
spawn
are
on
great.
biomes that don't have them,
Mm-hmm.
or I haven't found them.
You have to like go pretty far in that case.
Sometimes they're right there when you spawn though. So
Sometimes,
yeah,
but not
sometimes
always.
they're right there.
Not
Also,
always.
bees.
They have
Oh my
bees
god,
now?
the bees.
They have
yes.
bees in Minecraft.
Oh, we can
Big-
build
I was watching.
big
much like
fat
my
fuzzy
Animal
bees.
Crossing village. We can have a shrine to Nicolas Cage and the Wicker Man.
Yes.
Not the bees.
Guys,
Ah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was watching Tebo's stream.
Who?
What
you
stream?
know who's Tebo's stream?
No.
Okay.
He's a Dream SMP Minecraft streamer.
Uh-huh.
I was watching his stream when the bees was announced. When the bees updates was like announced and everything. I'm just if you know why I'm dying.
You'll have to send me a link or something.
Yeah, you'll
later.
have to send us a link. I'm very confused.
He doesn't really. I'll send them more information, but Tebo
Yeah.
loves bees.
Well, they're wonderful. They do
okay.
amazing work for us
Well,
I
I
like
mean,
bees, yeah.
and the ecosystem at large.
well, we'll talk more. We'll talk more off stream about it. But I was dying.
All
Because
right.
I just happened to be watching Tebo's stream when the announcement was, yes, we're adding bees to Minecraft. I died.
Before we get to our main topic, I just want to get off Minecraft. This is the third episode in a row where we're going to talk about Hawkeye.
Oh, lordy. Okay, I haven't watched it. However, I've seen a lot about it. So, Brody,
Yep.
I have one question.
Okay.
In the first 2 episodes, the musical Rogers,
Right.
and then we had the LARPing scene.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the highlights of the episodes.
Yeah.
What highlight do we get in this one?
I think like there's a very specific one that everyone likes, but mine that I like is that they go right into a car scene and then they have a big one take wall just shooting in a car chase. And I'm just sitting there for like 5 minutes waiting for them to do a cut, and they don't. They
It's
go.
a single take.
It's a big
I
single
love that,
take.
yeah.
I'm sure there's.
I love
I'm
that.
sure there's like a million like invisible cuts because there always are.
Yeah, but like to do.
But if you've ever seen Children of Men and you know that big,
Oh, it's
Car-
such a good movie.
oh, you know that big long take, it's a lot like that.
I've only
But
seen Children of Men once.
it's like that big broad thing. A lot of traffic going down, a lot of fights, a lot of cool shit. You think it's just like some dude in the back seat with like a spinning gimbal or whatever, but you realize no, this is actually like going in and out of the car and shit like that. So that whole scene was really dope. And I think the only thing that really impressed me about Hawkeye and realizing that, yeah, this guy actually does have better technology than just fucking bows and arrows like they've had for the past 2,000 years. He had a PIM arrow.
Oh my god.
Jess, I know you don't know the MCU, but you know what the PIM particle and the PIM stuff is,
It's
right?
what Ant-Man uses.
Yeah,
It's
so he
in
has
that.
a PIM arrow, and
Yo!
he shoots another arrow with it and turns it into a giant arrow
Oh my
that
God.
gets shot at some goons.
I
Yo.
mean, that's awesome, but where was that? Tony? Oh.
I don't know. He was saving it for just the right occasion.
I do like
yeah,
the
yeah.
shows.
Thanos, not the right occasion, but
Well, you don't want a bigger Thanos.
Well, I actually
That would be a
make
problem.
Thanos smaller.
To be fair, though.
That would be adorable.
Hold on. I wanna point this out. I love. How
I am
that
inevitable.
Yeah. Kid, is there any way that you can heighten your voice?
I'll probably do it in post.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Run from it. It all comes the
I
same.
am inevitable.
You should have gone for the head.
Rose has it covered already.
Born for that role.
Yes.
Tiny Thanos.
Tiny Thanos.
And today, the role of Tiny Thanos will be played by Rose Nightingale.
Yes.
I gotta say though, that just shows his relationship though with Scott Lang.
Yeah, they
For the
were.
fact that he has an arrow like that.
They were on the same team in Civil War, right?
I don't know.
I vaguely, yeah, right? Because like he shot the arrow with him, and he called him Thumbelina, right?
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Well, yeah, well, whatever. I just wanted to get that out of the way so we can stop talking about Hawkeye for a little bit.
Yeah. But it's like third episode. We gotta talk about it.
No more no more big exposition dumps. It's all just Hawkeye content now.
I love that though. I love that show starting to show his relationship with the other Avengers.
So it is getting better, is what you guys are saying.
It is getting better.
Okay,
yeah.
so it might end up being a great show.
Maybe.
Tons of shows don't really pick up until the fourth or fifth episode.
We'll see, because it could pull.
Mad Men comes to mind for me, and that's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, it could pull a WandaVision where it's like, the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then just dives right off the deep end.
I completely disagree. I think the later it gets with WandaVision, the worse it gets.
Really?
Yeah.
You like the first 2 episodes?
I love the first 2 episodes.
Well, because the appeal for Brody is like the quintessential happy world sitcom, production design,
and then later it just turns into Marvel.
Yeah, and then it turns into
what we've been seeing for the past 10 years, as opposed to, and I realize now that that's a bad argument because it's literally something we saw fucking in the 50s. So.
Well, I Love Lucy still holds up wonderfully.
Oh,
I always watch that. It's always fantastic to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I love her husband in I Love Lucy. I really do. I don't remember his
Ricky
name.
Ricardo. I don't remember his real name.
Yeah, I love
in the show, it's Ricky Ricardo.
That's such an old Hollywood name.
Well, I mean, he was...
It was old Hollywood.
God, I can't believe I can't remember
Cuban?
his name. He is Cuban, yeah.
Yeah, he was Cuban at the time. And it was kind of...
What happened?
At the time.
What happened that made him not Cuban anymore?
That made him not Cuban anymore.
I'm trying to get...
Desi Arnaz is his name. I didn't even have to Google. As soon as I Googled his name, I was like... Or Lucille Ball. I was like...
No, because at the time, it was kind of... Hollywood was not quite happy with I Love Lucy because she was married to him, and U.S. relations with Cuba at the time were not great.
Right.
Still aren't. And the fact that he was of a different ethnicity as her was also kind of taboo for Hollywood. So to have I Love Lucy and have this positive, supportive male character role was also just shocking, as it was revolutionary for Hollywood.
The bar used to be so low for shocking the world.
And for men.
Yeah, for men.
Sorry, guys.
Actually, real quick, I have a jawbreaker with you.
Yes, an actual freaking jawbreaker.
It's
a la Ed, and Eddie.
A la Ed, and Eddie, just like Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah. It's a big-ass white... Oh my god, I love it.
Rose has it wrapped in saran wrap and is taking periodic licks.
It's
really humorous.
How else am I supposed to eat this?
You shove it in your whole mouth, just like Ed, and Eddie.
And you walk around like a chipmunk.
I can't fit this in my mouth today.
So then why do they make them?
That
so
big?
Dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Rose has found a way to consume it, though.
You're just licking it and then putting it back in your pocket for later. It's gross.
No, it's not. It's wrapped in saran wrap.
It's saran wrap.
It's locking in the germs.
Brody,
what do you want me to do?
Come on. What germs?
Shove it in your whole mouth, like Ed, and Eddie.
I can't talk.
It's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. It's bigger than my jaw. You have to realize...
that's why they call it.
I could unhinge my jaw like a snake.
You guys have to realize
so many $5 footlongs.
5'1.5" tall. I am less than 115 pounds? I'm very fucking
for
tiny.
you.
No, I am so fucking tiny.
I came out of the womb at 115, fighting, ready to punch a doctor in the face.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah,
I will fight you.
Bop, bop.
I'll fight with you, Jess. No, I'm not gonna fight her, but I will fight with her.
I'm built like a fucking NFL linebacker.
The delivery room, you're just in there like, ah.
Yeah.
6'1".
Yeah.
Don't ask me how much I weigh.
Don't ask me how much I weigh. I'm 5'7".
Just for height differentiation, I am the tiniest person you'll ever meet.
I mean, in this room, definitely.
In this room, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the tiniest people you may ever meet.
You are very small.
I am entirely small.
But you're not too small for the world.
So, to expect me to be able to fit this jawbreaker in my mouth,
Some small people have giant heads, though.
Yeah.
I am not one of them.
No.
It would be funny if you were.
There's a head to jaw ratio there that you could definitely get a jawbreaker in one of those. Guys, what are we drinking today? We're definitely consuming.
Jess is like, okay, we're done with the jawbreaker.
No, I mean, here's the thing is I can go on and on just poking fun at you about this jawbreaker. And it is 2 episodes ago that I brought up that Rose really is the real life Buddy the Elf, and I feel like this just cements that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of what we're consuming, I got a Southern Tier pack, and I got the new haze from them.
Southern Tier is wonderful.
I
I
like
love their
them.
dessert series.
Oh my god, they had like I once had on draft. It was the creme brulee
Yeah,
nitro.
the creme brulee nitro.
Oh my god, it was like melted ice cream, but in the best way possible.
I really like their cinnamon roll ale.
Brody heard that.
That's not for you, Rose.
No, it is not.
Hey,
Even though it definitely
before
should
we
be.
talk about what cider Rose is drinking at the bar, guys. Did you try all the Wicked Weeds we had?
Yes.
The milk and cookies,
The s'mores.
the s'mores, the German chocolate cake, but especially that espresso cheesecake stout is amazing.
That sounds like something that you wouldn't think works, and I still haven't tried
The
it.
cheesecake flavor's not there, but the espresso flavor. I mean,
I can
it
definitely fuck with espresso
Oh,
yeah, it,
Brody,
it
next
is
time you're there, you gotta try it if it's still on tap. It's so
It
good.
will be.
Rose, what are you drinking?
New England IPA.
No, cider.
The cider, damn it.
Oh my god, hell will freeze over before Rose is casually drinking a New England IPA.
I'm back with my artifact, naturally. No new friends. My cranberry.
Naturally, too. No new friends.
No,
Nope.
I've got all the people I need.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where?
Where?
Oh, really, Brody?
I'm Josh.
Oh, and we just and they just moved someone off the list.
Well,
Bump, bump, bump. I'm drinking. I had this on a last
Cold
episode.
Mountain.
Cold Mountain. I'm back with the Highland Cold Mountain. I still have a few of these left. Despite how much it sounds like I drink, it's actually a lot of effort for me to go through a 6-pack of the same beer.
yeah. I think for the most part, like, I know, like, we always say, like, hey, we're drinking on the podcast and we're making a point of it. I wouldn't really say we all really drink like that, though.
No, I really
end
don't. Everyone thinks I drink a lot because, like, when I do go out, I do go hard.
Yeah.
I like to have fun, and I like to drink to unwind, but, like, I maybe drink, like, once a week, if that much.
And
only socially when I go out.
Yeah.
And I told Jess earlier that, like, my tummy just won't allow me to, like, go hard on alcohol. Like, I will feel really sick before I feel really drunk.
Honestly, like, more power to you. That's for the best.
I
Yeah?
have to watch out and actually, like, personally limit the amount of alcohol I have. Thing is, I don't drink that often, but when I do, I have to be aware of how much I drink.
Oh man, if I hit at least 5 beers, there's nothing stopping me after that. I'm just gonna keep going until I fall asleep.
Unstoppable
I really-
force.
No, really, it's like a fucking hurricane. I'm just gonna drink until I'm done.
But I think, like, we started doing it because we are first-time podcasters. We figured, hey, wouldn't it be cool to just loosen up a little
Also,
bit?
to be fair, we're always having these conversations at the bar with at least one of us over a beer.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it loosens us up, but we also really enjoy craft beer and craft cider in general. And I think North Carolina
Or craft
does it.
liquor.
Or craft liquor.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Brody does the craft liquor. Yeah, we just enjoy it. I don't know what else to say. I think North Carolina has a great selection,
Yeah.
more so than other states.
I
So
like
that's-
my New England states. Keep on at it. Your ciders are great.
So that's what we are. 3 cool friends drinking drinking some beers, and for this episode talking about cartoons.
We are children.
We're big kids.
I have never matured past the age of 15 is what I always say. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I pay my taxes, but I also will play with a Slinky if it's available.
Oh my
So,
god.
We're collectively in a big Arrested Development.
I think we are as a culture, but
My dad.
that's for another episode.
I'll write that down. We don't have that on the list yet.
Rose is always the bureaucrat. in the
We have an
family.
episode of Arrested Development, and then we actually talk about the society that we live in.
We are going to deep dive into Arrested Development.
That would be fun.
I will need no prep for this. I've seen the series all the way through
Yeah.
at least 4 times.
But our main topic, we just realized
Oh,
that
yeah,
there are a
sorry,
lot
guys.
of good cartoon shows, and we all grew up like mid 2000s, early 90s, when people would say is the golden era of cartoons. And to this day,
Except for Rebecca Sugar, we love you.
She's the platinum era.
Yeah, well, what I was just gonna say is, I think overall it's a golden era, but man, they're making some shit right now that is just
there's always
chef's kiss.
Yeah, like there's always gonna be the stuff that's like they're always gonna make cartoons that are like that's like some dumb baby shit.
Yeah, like Teen Titans Go.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
As opposed to the actual Teen Titans, which you can enjoy even as a grown person.
So yeah, today we're talking about we're gonna really highlight 3 cartoons that we want to talk about that you can enjoy as an adult.
Yeah.
We'll have some honorable mentions, like
with your children as well, yeah.
Yeah, even with your kids.
Yeah.
Like Teen Titans, honorable mention. What else?
Teen Titans honorable mention is a good one.
We're not touching Adventure Time or Steven Universe right now because we have a Rebecca Sugar-centric episode later. And I know Rebecca Sugar didn't create Adventure Time, but she did help create a lot of the wonderful music for it.
She had a lot of influence.
Yeah, she had a lot of influence. I know it's Pendleton Ward, but
I will still say that Scooby-Doo. Well, I mean, like everyone's enjoyed Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, everyone's enjoyed Scooby-Doo. That's like what, since the 70s?
About.
Oh yeah, like whenever Hanna-Barbera was at his peak.
Yeah. My dad watched Scooby-Doo when he was a kid.
Yeah. So we've had
different
that.
topic, but Studio Ghibli movies are definitely like visually like very fun. So like any kid or adult can enjoy that.
Studio Ghibli too. Just quick side note: what a great vehicle to get people into anime that would normally never watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's done. Like for my sisters that normally weren't that into anime, but they will watch any Studio Ghibli movie. Just a testament to how good it is.
But, you know, we can go on and on about that. And we just have like 3 ones that we really want to deep dive into. And I think first one we want to talk about is something that we've mentioned on the show before. Rose, what do we got?
We've got Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
From Nickelodeon. That one's just an all-around amazing series. We're not going to talk about Legend of Korra because, quite frankly, I don't like it, so fuck Korra.
It's not quite as mature with its themes as the original Avatar
is. It's not as developed either.
That's very true.
It doesn't have a lot of development for the side characters. I know a lot of the time the side characters for specifically, I'm thinking about the Cabbage Man. He's used constantly as a comedic side character, or just, you know.
Do you remember in Legend of Korra where it's like they had to bring down some big CEO of Cabbage Corp, and it's like, no, my Cabbage Corporation. It's like, it's not funny. Not funny.
It doesn't sit right.
It just seems like so shallow.
Yeah, and it also feels a bit rushed too, like technologically wise as well. Because we have like massive developed cities, whereas just within Korra's lifetime, that Aang kind of built up. But when we see Avatar: The Last Airbender, we see these tiny, almost kind of like city-states.
Metropolises.
Yeah, those kind of, situations.
Yeah.
So to have that and suddenly go boom, Industrial Revolution, it's like it's a bit of a reach for me.
I've heard that from a lot of people, and I'm not really super like hardcore on one side either way. I'll just say though, like the whole point of the Cabbage Man joke was sort of like the trope that there's always a fruit stand for someone to crash into in a car chase, and this man's just out here with cabbages. They kind of missed the joke and like it. But anyways, that's not one of the more important things. There's more adult stuff going on than a goofy man who's upset about his produce.
No, I really wanted to talk about Zuko, one of the main antagonists of this show.
Yeah, Zuko specifically being like one of the most... I would personally, I would say like when I watched the kid like super religiously as a kid, and I think I was like 11 when it first came out, so that's like perfect for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm just above the baby shit, but still in the cartoon realm. So just to see that, I really grabbed onto it. And then I think early pandemic, Avatar: Last Airbender came onto Netflix, and then everyone was watching that again. I think that became like the number one thing on because like everyone had time to watch what is known as one of the greatest animated shows ever. And the thing that really stuck with me there that I never really picked up on is how Aang and Zuko are just these two foil characters who are circling around the same destiny in different ways.
And I really love how that show highlights that as well. Jess, have you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I
know we've talked about
it, but I didn't finish it. So here's my thing. I watched it for the first time as a 31-year-old.
Okay.
And everyone tells you, like, this is the most amazing fucking show you're ever gonna see. Like, it's so wonderful. First season was really hard to get through for me. And I understand that it is world building, it's exposition, it's character building, and and it is a children's show, and I understand that. My husband loved it. He watched all of it. Mm-hmm. I had a really hard time getting into it. It's not that I didn't like the characters, and it's not that I didn't think like the overall story wasn't compelling or anything, but it was just a really rough go for me to get into it. But that doesn't mean I'm not willing to rewatch it again. It's like, shit, getting through that first season is gonna suck. I might just try to rewatch the second season.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, pick up on book 2.
Yeah, I know we talked about it before, and I wanted to touch on Jess's experience with it, just to show, like, not everybody really enjoys the first series, or the first season of the series, I should say.
Well, I'll bring this up again in another show we want to talk about, but I feel like if you are going to make a TV show for something like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel or anything that's like targeted to children, you kind of have to play the game a little bit before you can really bust out the provocative themes.
That's the same with almost every kid's show.
Yeah, like episode 1.
Adventure Time.
Oh my god.
There's two of my favorites. Yeah.
I remember Adventure. I know we're not really going to talk about it, but the first 2 or 3 seasons of Adventure Time, that's what it was.
Silly. It's silly little stories.
Silly goofball making up their own teen slang and crushing on princesses and beating up old
in a
wizards.
Magical world, which we later find out is
not the case.
Not the case. I mean, it is magical in a sense, but it's like
in a dark way.
Nuclear waste.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
but it's pink and tastes like bubblegum.
Yeah.
The mother gum.
Mother gum.
So really, like, for me, the big thing is that Avatar always had a point to it. So all the mini episodes, like the stories and such that he goes and does, Book 1, Water, is just about Aang, and he's like, oh, I want to do all of these things.
Yeah.
And they go out to do all of these things.
It's a road trip story.
It's a road trip story, because we actually get to meet Katara, her brother, we get to meet Aang, and we also get to meet Zuko.
Yeah,
and
Zuko.
I really want to just, like, highlight him.
Yeah, Zuko in Book 1 is the Fire Nation prince who is exiled by his own father, which is seen as merciful because his original plan was just kill his son.
Yeah. And he has his father's older brother with him, Uncle Iroh.
Oh, the best guy.
He is amazing and always has, like, some point of wisdom to give the audiences.
Mm-hmm.
But he, like...
Despite being on the quote-unquote bad guy team.
Yeah. Iroh, I feel like, is just a guide for Zuko.
Mm-hmm.
He really is, because Iroh was this great, mighty, fearsome Fire Nation general who almost brought the Earth Kingdom to its knees.
Yeah.
But then he had a change of heart, and everything changed for him when his son died.
Mm-hmm.
And he came home, and he's like, okay, I really need to reevaluate myself, my life, everything about the Fire Nation, this war that I'm fighting for.
And all that, and first time we see him, he's like a jolly old man who wants to play games and...
Mahjong!
He wants to play Mahjong, drink tea, and occasionally fuck hookers.
Why are Zuko and Todoroki why is Todoroki such a ripoff of Zuko?
That's actually a really good question.
Because, like, I had to relook up the name because I love My Hero Academia, but I'm just garbage with keeping up with everyone's names. I know a lot of other people are like that too.
I know he made it like a hard pivot. I'm just saying Jess pulled up a picture of Shoto Todoroki from the anime My Hero Academia, who has the power to control both ice and fire, and half of his...
Much.
And it's too much?
No!
No, because that's like such stark contrast.
You have to know his parental story for it to make sense.
Is one of them a firebender and the other a waterbender?
Well, they're called quirks.
Can I just say my favorite detail about that, though? like Zuko, he was like burned by his father, obviously burned by fire.
Oh my god.
I didn't want to cut you off like
similarities,
this.
though, guys.
Go.
But the story of him being burned by his mother with hot water and then using immediately her ice powers to try and heal it, which you should not do.
No, it makes it worse.
Ooh.
He got burned by that ice.
Bruh.
Yeah.
On the topic of Zuko's scar,
Mm-hmm.
Zuko, throughout the entire series, has this moral dilemma of, am I doing what's right? Because he was exiled for speaking up against his father. Turns out that it was during, like, this big war meeting. And
Right.
Zuko, the general, was like, oh yes, we can sacrifice this entire battalion.
And if I remember correctly, Zuko was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't let our
'cause he cared
soldiers
about his
die.
people. He's like, that's a brand new group of soldiers. They just got out of training. We shouldn't be risking our people like this. And by speaking out against the general, it ended up being like he was speaking out against his father,
Right.
who challenged him to what's called an Agni Kai, which is basically like a
Fight to the death.
fight to the death, right?
Yeah.
And he gets burned severely on one side of his face.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we see him
Mercifully, in his father's eyes.
mercifully, yeah, right. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, like, they really did a good job of
Zuko's
making
dad.
it. Yeah,
Zuko's
Zuko's dad, Mark Hamill,
Fire Lord Ozai.
Fire Lord Ozai, played by Mark
Fuck
Hamill.
him. Yeah.
Oh,
They
it's Mark
re-
Hamill?
They really did
I love
make a
that
good
word.
job of,
So
like, they
good.
had to make, like, a villain for the series, and, like, we're just gonna make him a big devil fuck.
But here's the thing. So anytime where Zuko, he strives for his father's support, his father's love, acceptance, and anytime he ends up at a moral crossroads, basically,
Mm-hmm.
it shows one side that's burned and one side that's not, like panel-wise. Like just one panel, it's one side of his face, and the other panel, it's not. Whenever he's like trying to make a decision, do I do what's right as I was taught by my uncle, or do I do what I think is right to gain my father's love?
It's just good-ass cinematography.
And that stark contrast, just seeing the visualization between the two, really emphasizes his internal struggle. It turns out that part of his internal struggle, he inherited it from his great-grandfather.
Are we talking about Sozin?
Sozin?
Yes.
Yeah, but he had two grandparents. His dad's was Sozin. His his mother's, that's his father's grandfather, great-grandfather. His mother's great-grandfather was Avatar Roku,
Yes.
who was like, no, you can't start a war. But Sozin was like, I'm starting a fucking war and you can't stop me, Avatar Sozin, so fuck you. And Zuko is like this spiritual almost product of like this internal conflict of, do I do what's right, or do I do what I think my father thinks is right?
The honorable thing.
The quote-unquote honorable thing.
That's
right?
like the word of the day with Zuko.
Yeah, he wants to be honorable, but Iroh, his uncle, is always reminding him, hey, you have a choice.
Yeah, you can be your own free man. And for a short period, they are free from
They
all
are
that.
free. The Book 2, Earth.
Yeah, which Jess should watch.
Yes, Jess.
I'm gonna get to it.
In Book 2, Earth, they live in the Earth Kingdom,
Mhm.
and they are free. And Zuko actually gets to explore himself, not as a firebender, not as the prince of the Fire Nation, but just as Zuko.
Yeah.
Just as
There's
himself.
even half an episode where he's a happy fella.
Yes!
Only half an episode.
Which is
He just
disappointing.
wakes up in a good mood, talks to his uncle like a human being, and then right dab in the middle, Azula tries to kill him. He's like, god damn it, I was doing so well.
Azula, his sister, also, like, in late Book 3 or Book 2, or the Earth Kingdom, and in Book 3, all throughout Book 3, whenever we see that contrast of, like, the both sides of his face, both sides of his moral dilemma, one is the voice of his uncle, the other is the voice of his sister.
Yep.
His sister, his little sister, Azula, was raised by her father. So that is kind of taking place of his father's voice, in a way, where it's like, this is what Dad would want you to do.
Right.
I know what Dad would want you to do because I grew up with him.
Yeah.
And then the other voice is Iroh saying, you don't have to have your dad's approval. And that shit's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that shit's hard to
You
accept.
don't need anyone's approval.
No. Except for his own, and he did not approve of his actions and eventually joined the Avatar.
And
Taught him
he
some
even-
firebending skills.
And one of the reasons why I really love Book 3, Fire is my favorite of all of the series. Because Zuko makes a choice, and he regrets the decision because he attacks the Avatar. He finally captures the Avatar, and everybody thinks that he's dead. Everybody in the Fire Nation basically thinks that Aang is dead.
Yes.
Was that Gertie?
Yeah, Gertie's playing with a squeak toy in the other room. It's really cute.
Oh my god.
She entertained herself, you know.
And then, through the first
Oh my
4 or so episodes of Book 3, Fire, Zuko is really struggling with the fact that he attacked the Avatar and betrayed his uncle and is like, did I really do the right thing? Decides, no, I didn't. Struggles morally with that, I didn't do the right thing. And then decides, okay, you know what, fuck this. Fuck my father, fuck this, Fire Nation. I'm gonna do what I know is right.
Mm-hmm.
Leave the Fire Nation and go join the Avatar, beg for forgiveness.
I saw that episode.
Yeah, were they're in the Southern Air Temple?
Yeah, they're in
Yes.
the high up temple.
Yeah,
No,
the Southern
wait.
Air Temple, where he's like, I'm so sorry.
No, wait, it was the Western Air Temple.
Or Western?
I think Western was closest to Fire Nation, so yeah.
I remember being angry they didn't give him a chance sooner.
Southern Air Temple then with the...
Southern Air Temple's where Aang's from.
Aang is from, okay.
Mm-hmm. I think
So-
Eastern Temple's where the inventor
Guru?
guys are, and then I don't remember the North Temple.
Was that where
No,
the
Guru.
were?
No, wait, that's right. The inventor guy was in the north, and Guru was in the east.
East, yeah.
Yes.
So he goes up to Team Avatar and says,
I don't know how to do taxes, but I know for a fact what's going on in each of these fucking air temples.
I love that.
I just have a guy do my taxes for me.
And I'm the guy who tells you about the temples.
Yes.
We all have a role to play in this world.
So going back to Zuko, Book 3 is my favorite because he finally, Zuko finds himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he learns more about... He didn't know that Avatar Sozin and Fire Lord Sozin and Avatar Roku were his grandparents.
Yeah, which further, puts him right in the middle of the dichotomy of whether or not he is doing the right thing or not.
Yeah. And he finds that out about really early of Book 3. And he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do the right thing and go see the Avatar. Go talk to him.
Yeah.
And so Book 3 then becomes this kind of redemption arc of Zuko trying to gain everyone's trust individually. So he goes on a trip with Sokka, he goes on a trip with Aang and Katara.
Yeah.
And he goes for a walk with Toph.
Yeah. We needed that. Wait, Jess, have you seen Toph?
No, who's Toph?
The best character.
She's the best representation of blindness. Oh my god, I love her.
Imagine just so she's a little girl who earthbends, and she was born blind, and she sees with earthbending kind of like the way Daredevil does.
I think she was just getting introduced when I stopped watching.
Oh my god, you picked the worst part.
What's
You picked the worst time to stop.
Right?
Toph made the show way better.
Yes, she did. Her parents are really overprotective. She has several older siblings.
No, I remember, this chick's a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is great. She becomes a...
I like her little hat.
She becomes... She hates the hat, FYI.
Well, it looks cute on her, so, we all have to make sacrifices.
She couldn't see it.
She hated anything that, was fancy and stiff.
Yeah.
That hat was fancy and stiff.
She loved
A
being
good hat needs to be stiff. What? Don't say anything, Brody. Don't do it.
I don't know. Is that hat 10 gallons? You just glad to see me.
Rose, so what makes this appealing for kids and adults? I mean, I know what the answer is. You've been going on about it, but let's tell our audience.
For kids,
all three of them.
It's just a fun coming of age story because this isn't for little toddlers.
Not for
this
babies.
Is for preteens we're really discovering...
Preteens are definitely the right word for that.
Yeah,
like
preteens.
I
We're
said I was
discovering
11 when
the
I
world.
first watched it, and that's like the perfect age.
Yeah, the world is not black and white, and you can make mistakes and learn from them and, accept them.
Yeah, and it would have been really easy for Zuko to just stay like the sort of Team Rocket villain he is, where every episode's like, I need to catch the Avatar, man. But
I do feel like Jesse and James are really misunderstood, though.
Yeah. Have you seen their repertoire? I know we're not talking about Pokemon, but my god. Like,
they fail every day.
Their resume and their repertoire is amazing. You need a fucking hot air balloon done by Monday, and it is Sunday night. They will have it to you by 8 a.m.
Yeah, like, really, what they want to be is just, like, a traveling acting troupe, but they don't have the means to do that. So Team Rocket, they don't. They're just stuck in a system, man, that they don't even want to be in.
But the point, that's exactly what Zuko is. He's stuck...
He's stuck in this...
It's exactly what you just said, but like on a more serious level, where it's
Yeah.
like he is just a product. He is like the next incarnation of a society that for 100 years has been these warmongers, imperialistic
But it
fuckers.
shows that they can change.
Yeah,
Anybody
Shows
can
that
change.
Anyone can change.
and it's not even like every Fire Nation person even is evil. There's even the one episode where Aang goes to like a Firebender school.
Yeah.
And
or
then we
Fire
just-
Nation School.
Fire
He
Nation
learns.
School, that's right. And he's just like learning all this false history written by these guys. And he's just like, you know what? Maybe the Fire Nation people really aren't evil. Maybe they're just kind of brought up that way and
They're a product
just
of their...
regurgitating everything that the world has kind of been said. You know what? I'm going to say it. It's a lot like, it's more like Attack on Titan.
I was going to
than-
say Attack on Titan, but I didn't want to bring it up again. All right, so moving
Wait,
on, I
wait,
guess.
wait, that-
Rose has no wrapping up words.
No.
Once again, in 1 to 3 sentences, why is this good for kids, but why is it better for adults?
I totally got this.
Okay,
Brody,
take it,
yeah.
Brody.
It's real.
It really is.
Mic drop.
No, it is. It tackles, like, just problems and things that you face almost every day.
Yeah. They could have made it very cartoony. They could have made it very Nickelodeon. It's real.
It's
It's
very-
real. It's raw. And it goes hard.
Oh,
And
one
it's the
thing you
same-
guys didn't mention, which I think is very unique about this show, I know I haven't seen it all the way through, but we haven't touched on the animation style at all.
Oh my god.
How it is definitely inspired by Eastern anime, but definitely has a Western vibe to it. And
Yeah.
I want to call it Western anime, even though I know that's not accurate, but how would you
No.
describe it?
I don't-
There's not anything animated like it.
I don't
No,
want to
it's
put it in a
cartoon.
box.
It's like... I'd say
Oh, but
it's
there's
a
de-
class of its own, though.
Yeah.
Like, the animation... From the animation style right down to, like, the portrayal... animated portrayal of characters.
Fair enough.
I think it's very Western.
It's incredibly Western, but there's definitely a lot of
but
Eastern
there's-
influence.
Yeah, there's a lot of respectful Eastern
Oh,
influence.
absolutely. Because I feel like a lot of Western animation goes through phases where, like you've got like your Powerpuff Girls and your Dexter's Laboratory and like your Johnny Bravo, and we had that time.
Yeah.
And then, then there's like the regular show has a look that was really popular, and then
Yeah.
there's, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, and all these guys went to school together too. They all did.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, Brody...
Seth
Really?
MacFarlane used to work on Johnny Bravo.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane used to work on
Now that I
Johnny
think
Bravo.
about it, it makes so much sense, though.
It really
Yes,
fucking
I
does.
can't
It's
wait.
just a man trying to get laid.
Yeah. I don't think Seth MacFarlane has any trouble getting laid, but Johnny Bravo sure as shit did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I made Family Guy. And he's like, have me.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're a millionaire? You can
All
sing
right.
like Sinatra?
Yeah.
So, from one representation to another, Brody, what is the topic that you're going to talk about?
Righto. So, this is a very contemporary show right now. That's
I've
on.
never heard of it or seen it.
Really?
It's on my list to watch.
Let me look up what it looks like real quick, because you guys know I'm a
Yeah.
very visual person.
But if you have Disney Plus and if you're not watching The Owl House, go do it
No,
right
I've
now.
never seen it.
Really?
Not familiar at all. It has Kiki's Delivery Service vibes, though.
Yeah, it's definitely much about witches and demons and fun magical characters. So I'm just going to give you the big cold introduction. It's about a young girl named Luce who is seen in the human world as a straight up fucking weirdo.
Human world?
My kind of gal.
There's a lot of worlds. She ships her favorite anime characters. She makes AMVs. She brings live rats to school so that she can act like a hero, and she's a big fantasy nerd.
I love this chick.
I definitely just described you.
Yeah, that's right.
I do not bring animals to work.
You would if you could.
You would if you
Yeah, I would actually. I've asked the chef if I could have a pet bat. And
Why would you want the pet of all the pets? Why a
Bad
bat?
time.
I want
Bad
a
time
bat.
with all this COVID shit.
I
All
want
they
a
do is
bat.
spread diseases.
Have
Bats
you
are
not
adorable.
Have you not seen a baby bat?
I
have
have. They
seen
look
a
like
baby
angry
fruit bat.
men. It's so funny when
Fruit
someone,
bats are nice because they have the little puppy face.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
when you
about.
hold a
fruit
bat by its two hands just hanging, they look so pissed. It's so cute. It's just how their faces look.
So anyways,
I asked Chef if
Sorry,
I could
Brady.
have that baby or bat,
And
she looked
And
at
she
me.
probably looked at you like, I can't believe I made you a manager.
That was the exact
Yeah, like shit.
we're done.
Okay, Brody, continue.
Brody, continue.
So Luz is seen in the human world as this big fucking weirdo, and the first episode starts with her going to camp, supposedly, but instead,
Camp Half-Blood?
it's better than Camp Half-Blood.
No! Nothing is better. Well, okay, hold on.
And then, so instead, she decides, fuck this, I'm running away, I'm going to this weird old house for a quick moment to think by myself.
Okay.
And that's where a briefcase opens up and a portal unfolds.
Portal?
And like, if you're a fantasy nerd and you're a troubled youth and you see a big portal open up, you're definitely gonna walk through that.
No,
Naturally.
probably not.
No,
Naturally.
No.
I totally would.
No, I had
Portal
escape.
gang.
I had escape plans in case I had home
Portal
invaders.
gang.
I was
Portal
a very
gang.
cautious and anxious child.
But whatever. That portal takes her to the demon realm on the Boiling Isles.
Oh, no.
A
I like the name
continent.
a lot.
A continent made from the dead body of a once ruling titan.
Oh, lordy. Okay, we're getting into
So
some...
a giant titan died, and on its deceased body grew this giant landscape
And that's how we got
where
Florida.
demons and
Not trapped.
that's Florida,
Yeah, that's Florida.
where
yeah.
demons and witches live freely, practicing magic under covens.
Okay.
So, and Luz is of course like, yeah, no, this is my new fucking home.
Does she
yeah.
yo-yo between like the Boiling Islands and real world? Is it like a Kagome situation?
Well, her mom thinks she's at camp, so she's like, nah, I'm just gonna fucking stay here for a little while. And as soon as she does, she runs into a witch known as Eda the Owl Lady.
Okay.
Cool.
Eda the Owl Lady is a junk seller who is very fond of human trinkets. It's a lot like Ron's dad.
Weasley.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ron
And
Weasley.
just like seeing how there's a civilization of
Mr.
people who
Yeah.
who are human and don't have magic
Arthur
but still
Weasley,
function.
Sorry, this came to me.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, so is it like a, what is it called? The Pixar film? Where it's like magic was in the world and then it
Oh,
kind of
Onward?
came- Onward.
Oh
yeah,
my god, Onward is so
it's
good.
Is
a
it
million
like-
times better than Onward.
Is it like
Onward's-
an Onward situation where magic was in the world but now it's not because of technology?
It's kind of like no, it's not. It's not quite like that. It is sort of like they've domesticated magic. Magic, apparently, in what is known in that culture as the Savage Days, used to be a wild thing until the big bad guy sort of seized power and put everyone in covens and tried to organize things. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So Luz is sort of somewhat adopted by Eda the Owl Lady, and also living in the house, the Owl House, which is guarded by a demon named Hootie. Hootie is so cute.
Oh my god.
Hootie is like the fucking Zoidberg of the show, where
I
it's
was gonna
like
ask if he
where
was
he's
a
kind
fish.
where he's kind of lame. Oh no, he's an owl that lives in the door, and sometimes
At the Owl House?
at the Owl House,
Owned by the Owl Lady?
owned by the Owl Lady. I'll get to why she's called the Owl Lady in a
Oh
sec
my
too.
god, I love it.
So it's just sort of her learning to have this magical adventure. She wants to become a witch, obviously, and she's learning from the most powerful witch in the town. And
Owl Lady is the most powerful witch in the town?
yeah,
Does
because she
look
doesn't
like
join
the,
any covens.
The pigeon lady from,
Home Alone?
yeah, the second Home Alone. Lost in New York.
She would kill that lady.
They're similar,
Pigeon
though. Is what
lady?
you're...
Have you seen Home Alone?
The
She's
second one, Lost in New
But I
York.
haven't seen it in a long time. So
well, there's always that crazy old person.
There's
that
always
they
like a
talk
creepy
to.
old person that teaches what's
The
his
kid?
fucking name?
Kevin?
Yeah,
Kevin.
He teaches Kevin McAllister a fucking lesson.
Yeah.
It's the same lesson in every movie. It is.
Okay.
Where was I?
Owl Lady.
Owl Lady,
Hootie.
yes. So that's basically just like the makeup of everything. Young girl living in a magical world in a house by a witch. There's a tiny little demon named King, who I forgot to talk about, but he's adorable. Yeah, King.
Oh my god, I love it.
And his whole shtick is like he wants to think of himself as a powerful tyrant demon, but really he's just fucking adorable.
Aww.
It's like if Gertie tried to kill you, but
it's like
couldn't.
me trying to threaten Brody.
Wait, Gertrude would be the cutest little demon.
Is she
Oh
not?
my god, her and Akamaru.
No, she's delightful.
No, her and Akamaru trying to threaten someone.
So that's the basic makeup of the fantasy
They would
world
be
that's
like,
going
no,
on.
you do it. No, you do it. Yeah.
You bark at the person. I'm an old man. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, Aki's just done with everything.
He
Like,
really
the few
is.
times I've like interacted with Aki, he's like, "Oh God," because I immediately pick him up and squish his head, which is probably not nice, but
Brody, you gotta meet my dog at some point.
At one point, yeah.
Rose's dog has the same exact vibe as Rose, where it's just like, ha, like just all the time, just like, ha, leave me alone.
I unfortunately passed on some sort of level or feeling of like, he's a very anxious boy.
We do pass our anxieties on to our animals.
Apparently, I've passed on some kind of anxiety.
I think I passed a personality disorder on to mine.
Oh, no.
Let's continue.
Jess is like, okay, Brody, take that back now.
Yeah. So the first episode is just definitely like defining all the classic tropes that people are aware of, and then like immediately is just like breaking that shit up. Like magic does exist, but so do shitty people in this world. Like I think episode 2 is like a wizard sends her on a quest for a magical item, and it turns out to just be a fucking scam.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So the whole idea is just subverting all these magical tropes that you see in the fantasy series.
And don't trust strangers.
Don't trust strangers unless it's Eda the Owl Lady. But there's two things I really want to show that really makes it for adults, and the first one I've seen is Eda the Owl Lady herself, who, despite being Eda's backstory is that long ago, as a young witch learning the way of the world, she was cursed.
Oh no.
She occasionally flares up and turns into an owl demon, which is
That's why she's called the Owl Lady?
yes, because she very literally turns into an owl demon.
So she's a witch and a demon.
Yes, she's cursed that
She's
way.
a witch
Yeah.
cursed to be an owl demon.
Yeah. And it flares up when she's anxious or just random.
God,
or
I relate to that so much.
in moment. No, that's totally what they're doing. They're
yeah,
totally
I relate
making
to that so
Completely
much.
off topic. That reminds me of Red, the new Pixar film. Whenever like,
Oh yeah, Turning Red, where it's like someone like
the red panda.
when they have like fluctuations of emotion sort of physically transform.
Yeah.
It's the exact same trope, but this one's more like,
A demon.
demonic.
No poker face can happen with either of these guys.
But she can take elixirs, which help her calm it down. But throughout the series, you see
Cheers!
Yeah.
cheers to that. But you see throughout the series, like it starts getting way worse.
Oof.
Way worse.
Oof.
But you want to know like the real kicker of it?
That has got to be a
Yes,
representation
please
of
tell us.
alcoholism or just
I was gonna say bipolarism,
medication in general.
or just like the desperate need for medication, which in the human world
Now
would
I'm
just be
thinking
pills.
of like Helga G. Pataki's mom, who was clearly an alcoholic.
Oh,
when
so
you watch
hard.
it as an adult.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
That's
Shout
actually
out,
another show that is
honorable mention.
Hey,
Hey Arnold, so for
Oh,
adults.
Yeah.
It's so for adults.
I
Yeah.
honestly didn't know what you were talking about until you said, "Hey Arnold."
Yeah. Hey Arnold.
Yeah, Helga's mom is. You don't pick up on it as a kid at all.
Because she's very.
Well, they call it juice in her.
They call it
smoothies
juice,
stuff,
and she sleeps a lot, and she lets the husband do a lot of things.
She's always groggy. She's not very attentive. I think there are some scenes where she's passed out at the kitchen table.
Passed out or slurs her words.
Yeah, she's definitely an alcoholic. It's not that like Helga has a bad home life though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just that's how her mother is. It's not portrayed as that's obviously not bothering Helga too much. Even though I think there are scenes. I think the father is way worse for Helga than the mother.
Yeah. But to go back to Eda the Owl Lady, just to fill you in on the entirety of the story, and fuck you spoilers for most of everything. Yeah, fuck you spoilers for two people who haven't seen it. Sorry. We learned that Eda sort of rejected the idea of covens because they were a way for the Emperor to kind of control magic in the world.
So she's rebellious.
She's rebellious. She's so fucking rebellious. I love her.
She's
crazy.
Awesome.
She doesn't like organized religion.
Yeah. Or magic or whatever. However, her sister, Lilith, is head...
Okay, hold on. We just went from organized religion to Brody going, Lilith, her sister.
Well, Lilith's a great name, and we don't need to go into the origins of a name.
You know, pulling, you know.
We're pulling threads.
Pulling threads.
We're destroying a sweater today.
But Lilith, her sister, is the head of the Emperor's Coven, who is just like the boss, you know? And there's like one point, so Lilith is kind of like convinced that if she brings Eda to the Emperor will cure her of the curse. That's bullshit.
No!
That's bullshit.
No!
She's getting played. She thinks she's helping, but she's totally not. And eventually, like, it comes to the point where the two of them are fighting because she captures Luz, knowing that she actually has some attachment now.
Oh, no.
And right before Eda uses up the last of her magic before permanently turning into the owl, they're fighting over shit, and it's like they were always
turns into the owl demon?
She gets fucked up by the curse like that. And
wait, you didn't say that this was permanent, though.
Oh, it could be permanent.
Curses are permanent until you get them lifted.
Yeah, this is not going to be lifted.
The curse, you can change it.
But the curse...
You can reverse curses. We just talked about Studio Ghibli movies.
I'll get to that in a sec. How they fix that.
Every Ghibli movie gets lifted.
I'll get to that in a sec, how they fix everything.
That's not a curse.
But she's fighting with her sister, and they're always saying, like, hey, we were always competitive, you were better than me, and Eda's just like, I always was better than you. I'm definitely going to be better in magic, and I'm going to kick your ass. And the exact quote that Lil says to that is, why were you so easy to curse then?
Oh, she cursed her own sister. I have sisters, and that's really relatable.
Yeah, I feel like siblings do that kind of shit.
Okay, so
they totally do.
So from my understanding,
they fuck you up.
Like a curse is like a long-term bad spell you put on somebody.
Yeah, the story is that they were both sort of like training to be in the Emperor's Coven, and then Lilith knew that she wasn't going to win, so she decided to curse her to sort of put her out of it. But Eda was like, you know what?
Lilith.
But Eda was like, you know what? I actually don't want this. I'm just going to give it to you. And then the curse happens.
Really?
Yeah, so it didn't even matter. So...
Fuck Lilith.
Yeah, but she fixes it.
Lilith fixes it.
Okay, so she learns later on that the Emperor had no intention of curing her. She just wanted her out of the way so he can get the portal to the human world to do some sort of evil bullshit with it.
Okay, slight redemption.
Yeah, and then she uses a spell that they used as a young kid where she takes half of it. There's a spell where if someone gets injured, you can use it on them so that way you take half the injury. So like if I broke my arm in two places,
classic, like, oh, you're hurt, so I'm gonna take half your damage, that kind of shit.
Yeah, if I were to break my arm in two places and someone were to use that spell on me, we would both have our arm broken in one place.
Now, are they tied together forever? Like, if you get like, say I do the spell on you, bro.
It's kind of a one-time thing.
It's a one-time
But
thing?
now they both have to live with half of the same curse, and they don't have magic anymore in the traditional sense.
Oof. Yeah, well, they got their card revoked, you know?
Oh, so you know what? Hold on. So this is like a, Full Metal Alchemist.
I was actually thinking Full Metal Alchemist as well,
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist
The equivalent
situation.
exchange. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and then season 2, early on, and then this is where, like, they really... You know, remember when I was saying, like, season 1 of any kid's show, they kind of got to play the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2, they go really direct with how they are talking about it. and the Lilith and Eda relationship goes from being like, hey, now that we're both cursed and all that, I really am sorry that I did this to you, and I wish that we were better together as kids, because then which really translates to, I'm pretty aware that I kind of fucked you up with a mental illness, and you have to do this, and now that I'm actually like experiencing this for myself, I really realize what kind of shit I've done to you, and I'm sorry.
So it's like...
It sounds like they both needed it, though. Like, what a shitty...
Eda didn't need
for the
that.
Owl Lady, but it seems like for the relationship, this is the road it had to go down.
Yeah. And it seems like, she finally acknowledges how badly she fucked up.
And then the most recent development in that sort of arc is the fact that Eda, for a long time, has been trying to learn how to get her magic back, and in doing so, learned how to make peace with the actual owl demon itself.
I like that. Yeah.
Self-acceptance is always important, guys.
Self-acceptance, learning that you don't need to constantly medicate yourself, and that kind of comes in the form of her learning that when she transforms, she can instead turn into a little owl harpy.
Oh my god.
Harpies are cool.
Yeah.
So it's like
she's like, damn it, I transformed again, but I look really dope and I'm in control. We're working together. Are you about to say Naruto? Because it is a lot like Naruto.
Yeah, actually it was.
I could read you like a book.
God damn it.
It's like Venom, too, guys.
Not quite.
How is it not?
It's a parasocial relationship.
Yeah,
Eddie
but they have to learn how to work together to function together.
Yeah, but Eddie always
They make a deal.
accepted the Venom symbiote, though. He didn't really have a whole thing where he was fighting against Venom. Maybe for like a second, and then he's like, okay, this is my life now.
In the original Spider-Man movies, it was definitely a conflict.
Yeah, there was a conflict. And there is some kind of conflict in the Venom movies, but not to the extent of this.
Mm-hmm. But basically, yeah, like it is still very like fantastical children. Like you can watch this and still like have like a good time, like you're enjoying a fun cartoon. But really, if you know what they're trying to say, you know what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
And you can sort of like see through that and understand that
So,
a lot of what they do is really about trauma and sort of like what damage looks like from that. They just say it in a very magical way.
I love
so
that.
on our whiteboard, we have that, but we also have
Oh yeah, a second kind of representation. I had completely forgot to talk about Luz the Human, who's sort of in this human world, and she does, in fact, meet other witches and stuff like that. I know me and Rose both sort of have a disdain for romantic subplots in TV shows, especially ones that are forced in and sort of that will they, won't they sort of situation. Or
Think
even
Miraculous. For everybody who's watched, because we're talking about cartoons, the Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir, that kind of cartoon, my fucking god. Think that one, but I have a great disdain.
I was going to say like every Adam Sandler movie where it just kind of ends with him getting the girl, even though in Act 1 they totally hated each other.
I like it when it's central to the character's development, and it's not just... And I'm just going to say that it's not a static female character, because it very frequently is just a female character who purely exists to be a romantic interest and does not change for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I like it when it's well written and it seems organic, and I don't want to go down the manic pixie dream girl shit route right now either. But
that's a whole other conversation.
But it's a trope that's still very prevalent in movies today. So I like a good romantic subplot, and I like it better when it doesn't end well.
This has maybe the best, most organic romantic subplot I've seen in a show.
Ooh.
So Luz the Human
Even better than Bubblegum and Marceline.
Wait, they have problems. And I have this is like still an incomplete show, so I can't tell if it's going to get better or worse. But
let's hope it gets better.
Luz the Human goes to human school, and at first,
so it is like Kagome.
What's Kagome?
Inuyasha.
Okay.
There's a lot of Inuyasha parallels.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's all the same tropes that we've seen for a long time.
But Rose, real quick, but you do like the love story in Inuyasha. Yeah, okay. Let's continue.
Okay.
How can you not? Okay, I just had to, for the record. Yeah, that's a great love story.
And at first, the first like real like enemy she's made is sort of this overly prestigious girl named Amity.
It's the best love story.
And
no, hold on. This is an enemy Enemies to lover. I'm calling it right now. Enemies to lover.
What?
Enemies to lover?
No, lovers to enemies is what's gonna happen.
No, she hates the girl. She's prestigious. She's like...
She's prestigious. She comes from a very rich family. She
She's
has
probably
big
stuck
shoes
up
to
in a
fill.
bitch.
She is very much stuck up in a bitch. And
Yes!
we
So
first
enemies to lover.
see, but we realize, like, these are just children.
Okay.
At first being opponents to one another because they go from being like,
You
hey,
can't see it, but
I
I'm raising
try-
my hands in the
I
air.
try so
Called
fucking
it.
hard to be the best possible, and you're a goddamn human who can't use magic, but somehow you think you're better than me. And it's like, yeah, because I just like it more. And
I called it.
and so later they become friends.
Ooh.
Season 2 is sort of like where Anne kind of learns to like herself a little bit more, and in doing so kind of goes away from all that and realizes, hey, I kind of have romantic feelings for this human.
So I was wrong. It's enemies to friends to lovers. God damn it, Brody.
That's more natural.
Being
though.
friends first is usually better.
But
Yeah.
But like the best part about it is that like I am watching a very young love between two girls. It's a lesbian relationship.
Which we don't see at all.
In a cartoon.
It's typically like the males.
Yeah,
It's typically like a
if
gay
this happened like
relationship,
even
not a
20 years
lesbian.
ago, people would be jumping off the fucking walls.
People are
what
probably
they're
jumping
doing-
off the fucking rolls regardless.
But it doesn't fucking matter in the demon realm.
Oh, hell yes!
It doesn't fucking matter. The only weird thing about them dating is that they're both fucking young, naive, and embarrassed. And that's the most organic way to show
You
that.
know,
I do love
I like
more
that.
LGBTQ plus representation.
Exactly.
For children to watch specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I
we
really
are
like
here
that.
for-
And there's also one character who
The
has
Rainbow
two
Mafia.
dads, and no one mentions it.
We are here for the Rainbow Mafia, guys.
Rainbow Mafia, I will pay you protection.
we are here. Cheers to you.
Mm-hmm. You're the.
Well, it sounds
it's
like
the Goodfellas.
a delightful
It's the
show
Gayfellas.
that has a lot of stuff in common with shows that I already love.
Right.
Yeah, it has.
And you know what? It's just really fucking good, even if it is like good in like a good children's cartoon way.
Okay, so I'll propose the question that Jess proposed
Mhm.
to me with Avatar: The Last Airbender. What makes it good for kids and what makes it good for adults?
Like final thoughts.
The thing that makes it good for kids is that
It's colorful and you can put it on.
they make wacky noises and
Yeah.
they entertain your children and they learn how to share.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, especially if it's love.
No.
But every character is sort of a role model. Like even someone like Eda the Owl Lady, who's supposed to be like an old woman, is very much like a child in her own way.
I love that though.
Yeah, it's
There
fucking
is-
great.
Before we started recording, we were talking about Doctor Who, and one of my favorite Doctor Who quotes from Classic Who is, "What's the point of being an adult if you can't act a little childish sometimes?"
That's very much Eda's entire personality. Is I am
Or
definitely
all the
making my
time.
own path. I defy what the Emperor like is trying to restrain with in terms of magic. Literally, her whole thing is empathetically creating her own path and making things better for people.
I love that.
Even if it means
like
that you just sell human junk.
Forging your life
Yeah.
through empathy is one of the best ways to go about it.
Oh, I didn't even talk about King. King believes himself to be the king of demons because he was born in a temple that depicted someone that looks like him, who he thought was himself, but later kind of realized maybe this is my father.
Look,
So
that gives me Loki vibes.
Yeah, like it's very like North mythological.
I love that Rose is saying vibes now.
I've always.
Well, she used to say it ironically, but now it's just.
I used to say it ironically as well, but
Yeah.
It's
I'm just letting go. Of
It's
this
like how
one.
I say
Point
epic.
we're all just letting go.
I can't think of another word, and I've used it all the time. Like I feel like when I'm like trying to get my hair cut, I'm like, yeah, this is the vibe I'm going for. I've used it to like book tattoos too. Like I hate myself so much.
Same.
So King is
But it does give me a very Loki-esque.
Loki.
Yeah. Loki as vibe.
Loki.
Loki. Yeah.
I can't seem to hit the low keys. Have y'all seen that? It's a dumb thing.
No, but that was
Yeah.
funny.
Of course.
You shouldn't have
I've
told
seen
me because I thought you made it up.
Oh.
it. No, I've seen it.
Well, maybe I did. and I just
I
needed
feel like
that
you
to
did
cover.
make it up.
Maybe I just did, and I didn't think it was funny, so I covered my tracks by saying it was someone else's.
Well, you want to know something funny is, at the restaurant, this was a few years ago, but we have a lot of younger employees. Once again, I'm in my 30s, and one of the girls was getting Mountain Dew from the fountain, and I go, yeah, so-and-so, do the do. And they look at me and they go, oh my God, I love that.
Yo, what? That's a catchphrase.
Look.
Do the do is the catchphrase.
And then you looked
for
at your
Mountain
hands
Dew.
and they were
I
bony, and you looked at your hair and it was all gray.
Yeah, and then I had glasses on to show that time had passed. I specifically like it. I don't know if you guys have seen the episode of Robot Chicken with just the little kid going down a tiny little hill sledding, and he just goes, do the do. No, but he...
No.
Well, once again,
Oh, I thought
guys,
that was like an actual slogan from the...
It is the actual
It is
slogan.
The actual slogan.
Ah.
But not anymore, I don't think. Anyways,
No, it still is.
I think-
this person had no idea.
I think now it's Mountain Dew, it can dissolve a rat.
Yeah, it has orange juice in it. Well, they don't even spell out mountain all the way. It's just MNTN.
Well, that's
It's the abbreviation. Yeah, but
MNT is the abbreviation for mountain.
Look, the people who
no
drink
shit.
Mountain Dew can't really read that kind of big
no, but the
word.
people who drink
No.
Mountain Dew type it out that way too.
Anyways, King.
King.
King,
I had a Diet Mountain Dew today, guys.
King is an abandoned child who doesn't know who he is, what he is, or what he can represent. So it's sort of the found family trope where instead
I
of...
love that.
He's like
Yes.
Nico.
He changes his name to Clawthorn after
yeah,
Eda.
from Percy Jackson.
Oh, Nico D'Angelo. Oh, he has a different found family.
Yeah.
Nico,
But
oh my gosh.
there was one
Look,
scene...
guys, I'm making Percy Jackson parallels
I-
now.
We're doing it.
We're doing
I'm
it.
so happy. No, it actually legitimately makes
Rose
me...
just looked at me like I was like fucking psychotic.
No, because she comes out with Nico, and I'm just like, who? Which Nico? Multiple Nikos. exist
Yeah, we don't need to
in
get
this
in on that other
world.
Nico.
Yeah, we don't need to.
But the thing that really pissed me off, there was one scene that just made me fucking scream.
That makes
Where
me so happy.
King's dad
It's true though.
shows up to the Owl House and gives Hootie a letter saying,
Yeah.
hey, I know my son's out there. I know he's missing me. Please make sure he gets this. This describes everything that's going on with him.
And then they burned the letter.
And then Hootie's like, ooh, wow, a bug. And he eats it.
Probably for the best.
What?
Some answers are best left. I mean,
Look, I get that they're
they're
gonna make a few more episodes and stuff, but I was just like, this is exactly what I wanted. Also, I forget who it was, but it was definitely a known voice actor who voices King's dad. Like, if you ever,
We can Google it.
yeah, if I can't remember it, it's just like
I'm
think
gonna
of like the classic like super deep voice kind of guys like that. And no, I can't do voices today.
I can't do voices in general. I only do one voice, and it's when I'm talking to my dog.
But yeah, to go back to what makes it for kids, what makes it for adults. What makes it for adults is that everyone's a role model in their own way. They all go through some sort of hardship that either kids or adults can relate to. And the thing that makes it great for kids is it really is just like so passively how people should be. It's people aren't putting effort into being nice people. They're not putting effort into trying to represent love. They're not putting effort into being their best selves. They just are. And that's something that I think kids don't really learn how to pick up on quite yet. That like if you do in fact be yourself, you will be rewarded.
Yeah, you should.
What is the name of King's dad?
I don't know if we've learned his name yet. Just look up Owl House King's dad.
I did, and all I'm getting is King.
He's only really been in 2 episodes, 2 scenes even. So
Oh, he looks like a dog crossover from a Cubone, Dust Skull, and a
Rough
dog.
Rock.
Rough Rock.
rock rock.
Definitely.
But
Those
yeah,
are the
that's-
King vibes.
But yeah, and you want to know some other shit that made me really fucking mad?
What?
This show got canceled
What?
All the good ones get canceled. All the good ones get canceled. Don't even get me started on the OA.
because
Because
and this is from a Disney executive. It doesn't fit the Disney brand.
Well, what I was gonna say is, and I wanted to wait till you were done, but I'm very shocked that this seems more like a Cartoon Network vehicle.
Yeah, everyone said like his further elaboration was he doesn't like that it's serialized. He doesn't like that it takes itself serious. It doesn't like that it's more adult centered than children centered. But a lot of people read they don't like that it fits the Disney brand and really took to Twitter being like, "Wow, Disney hates gay people."
I mean, yeah. What are their expectations?
Yeah.
Yeah, but really, what are their expectations? If the views are good and people are watching it, you should.
And that's
just
not
continue.
explicitly what they said, but I mean, come on. Like, if we learned anything from Steven Universe, they want to play it safe when it comes to LGBTQ representation because that's how you get international funding. People in Russia and China aren't going to pay money to make a show where two same-sex people love each other.
No, and that would be actually worthwhile to dive into a little bit on another episode. Is how. I read more about this when I was just like, how in the fuck are they making a third Transformers movies? They're shit. No one sees them in America. You want to know where they see them?
China.
They love
everyone
mecha
in
robots.
China. They love the Transformers. They love Bumblebee.
Okay, you can do a
Optimus Prime wants to put your kids in cages.
If you're bored, take a look and go through on how movie posters are redesigned for Eastern audiences.
Oh my
it's a
God.
lot of fun.
Can we talk
yeah.
about the one time that somebody actually thought a fan-made poster of Loki and Thor was an official movie
Well, I'm sure that
poster?
happens all the time.
So it was actually called Loki and Thor?
It was like a slash poster. And some theater in China was like, oh my God, this is proof. This is true Marvel marketing. We should put it up. And they just put up a fan-made poster. And it was...
Well, I hope that fan got credit for it.
No.
Of course they
Not
didn't.
surprised.
No, of course they didn't.
I don't even think real poster makers get credit.
No, they don't. God, posters are still so cool.
Disney actually
Frame
had-
them, though, people.
Frame them.
Frame them.
I have mine framed. I have...
Oh my God. I just realized something.
Hmm.
Who framed Roger Rabbit? Because he's a cartoon.
It's in...
We don't...
That's
Wait,
on
we
the list.
have it on the list because...
No, cartoons. In
Cartoon.
frames. Who framed Roger Rabbit? He's a cartoon.
It's both.
I need to stop drinking.
No, you're right, though. I just got that, too, actually. Oh, just now.
I could just be picking it out because I think I'm smart.
No, it's both. No, it's like
It's a little bit
who
of-
framed Roger Rabbit for murder and who drew him also.
Yeah.
Or who framed this shot. Yeah.
Well, the cartography is accredited in the movie. The voice actor and the animator are all accredited in the movie. So if you want to watch the movie,
That's who framed him.
that's who framed him.
We did it.
We found out.
We solved the cold case that was who framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh my God, it's such a good movie, though.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it later.
What else do we want to talk about? We got another cartoon on our minds?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, though, for Disney, though, that's not surprising that they're canceling it so soon.
Oh, Disney's got to get on the fucking bandwagon with everybody else, man.
They really do, but the thing is, this kind of tracks along with their history, where it's like Kim Possible and a few other of their really popular animated films, or franchises, I should say, actually had, at the time, back in the early 2000s, they had a contract where after a certain number of seasons, the series would just end. Because they wanted to move on to something different. So unfortunately, this kind of tracks back. This just reminds me and tracks back to that whole...
Most shows shouldn't run more than 5 seasons.
I think 5 seasons is
5 seasons is it's that Breaking Bad sweet spot. Really, most shows run too long. I'll get into the OA on another episode. I'm so angry about that still. Most shows don't have a definitive story plotted out from the get-go. Most of the good ones absolutely do.
But I think
And they need about 5 to 6 seasons to finish.
No, Eureka needs to be on the list.
We'll put Eureka on the list.
You can edit this out, but oh
Yeah.
my God, Eureka.
But
And
my
these are
whole
for
thing,
most of your turn and burn shows. I'm not talking about epic sagas like Game of Thrones that obviously had the viewership and the funding
Right.
it needed.
But
more
my whole
seasons.
thing is if you are going into making a show, you can be like, hey, I just want to make a show. It's only going to be 1 season and it's going to have a really good ending. I just really appreciate the rarity of a creator ending their show because they know exactly how to end it.
Yeah, I agree with you absolutely.
Not because of any studio meddling or
not
because...
The Walking Dead. Can you imagine if The Walking Dead actually ended in 5 seasons? If they did that?
It would be watchable.
Well, the first 3 seasons are really good.
Yeah.
They are really good. They were transformative at the time.
But The Walking Dead is just people yelling at each other.
I mean, after The Governor, it's all downhill.
Yeah. You know what I really like, though? I really like shows where every season is its own little episode.
Ooh.
Its own little arc between every season.
Well, then I have a great show that I know you've already seen.
Fucking nailed that transition.
Yeah, you did. You nailed it so good. Rose, I don't think you've seen it, but me and Brody are really big fans of Infinity Train.
It's on my list. It's another one that's on my list. I've been dying to see it. Please tell me more about it.
So, I'll let Jess take the helm on this one.
Yeah, I'll take the helm, but I'm gonna obviously want your help and input.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Infinity Train. I did a little bit of Wikipediaing earlier.
Yeah, just sell me on the introduction.
I'll sell you on the introduction, but I do want to open with that it's created by Owen Dennis, who was a storyboard artist on The Regular Show, which is another show that we could make an honorable mention for today.
That's definitely an honorable mention. That show is not for kids.
No. It isn't. It came on, but it's on the time slot before Adventure Time when it was out.
Right.
So it's definitely like for this audience.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not talking about The Regular Show, but we can, but we're not going to.
Let's say we're all talking about shows that are for preteens. Teens are.
I would definitely say like Regular Show is more like stoner 20-year-olds than preteens.
Okay.
Yeah, The Regular Show is like it's how I feel going to work every day.
Because I haven't actually watched too much of The Regular Show.
I don't think you would like The Regular Show.
I know that they.
You would either really love it or really hate it.
They work for a park service?
Yeah. So they're like it's a job taking care of the park, like ground service, maintenance, yada yada.
Okay.
And they live on the park too. I don't understand how that got greenlit. It's a Cartoon Network show about people with jobs.
I mean, we're also talking about...
Well, they barely do their job, and they're just, like, chilling, playing video games, getting into shenanigans, macking on girls. I mean, it's fun.
Well,
yeah.
We're talking about the TV studio. I don't know what Cartoon Network really is. The station that greenlit The Regular Show. You've got Gumball.
That's Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I know. But other Cartoon Network...
That's always been Cartoon Network's shtick to stand up to the giant that is Nickelodeon. I mean, because Nickelodeon has a lot of my favorites as a child, too. And you talk about Rugrats, Real Monsters, Cat Dog. I mean...
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Like
the behemoth that is SpongeBob.
Yeah, Nickelodeon has a ton of heavy hitters. It just Cartoon Network had to takes a little bit of a darker spin.
Samurai Jack is an honorable mention. I just remembered that.
Yeah, Samurai Jack's good.
Yeah, that one is not for children, but
it's for kids.
A kid could enjoy it.
A 10-year-old can watch Samurai Jack and
a very sophisticated child could enjoy it.
Yeah, and the art style in and of itself is beautiful for children to watch too.
I wouldn't say anyone who's looking for something loud and crazy, they wouldn't like Samurai Jack as much. But anyways, we got really far away from Infinity Train.
Yeah,
we haven't said a goddamn word about that yet.
It's about my girl, Tulip Olsen, who is voiced by the same woman that does Ellie from The Last of Us, Ashley Johnson. I don't know if any of y'all have played The Last of Us.
Just the first one.
But as soon as you hear her voice, it's like a warm blanket and like you feel like you're home. Like that's how it is for me. I love that game series.
I would not describe The Last of Us as a warm blanket.
Hi, my name's Jessica. It's nice to meet you. It's a warm blanket for me. Ultimately,
that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
What's cool about this show, as Brody mentioned earlier, is that it is like an anthology series. So the first season, it's wrapped up. How many episodes? 8 to 10?
I want to say probably like 8 to 10. Yeah.
8 to 10. They're 10-minute episodes. So it's honestly I'm going to put that in the category for that's good for adults. It's a 10-minute episode, so it's a really quick watch through.
Because we're adults and we got things to do.
I have a lot of things to do, and I'd like to binge watch a season of a show in just a few hours.
Yeah, really.
Okay,
it's not like fucking Netflix's Stranger Things where it takes an entire day.
Yeah.
I'm down
We're
for that.
talking-
I'm down for that though too.
Yeah, we're down for that, but we're talking.
You really
like,
gotta
can
make
knock
your
this
schedule
out in a
work
few
for
hours.
it.
You can knock this out really quickly. So Tulip Olsen is a young girl. I think she's like 11 or 12. She's preteen. Or
Preteen,
teen,
yeah.
or almost a teen. She could be 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
She could be 13 or 14.
She definitely goes to middle school.
Yeah, her age is not super important, but she is dealing with the recent divorce of her mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big theme for her and a big struggle for her throughout the first season. Tulip is only in the first season. Well, a version of Tulip.
A version? Are we talking about variants right now?
It gets a little crazier than
It
that.
gets a little crazy.
Oh my god, yes.
But it's also not super important either, which is also wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, like it is, but it isn't.
But just focusing on the first
The first season
or
we're
story.
not going to get into all of them because they're all different.
Mhm.
They're all different.
Okay.
So Tulip is a up-and-coming, budding game programmer. She likes to make her own video games. It's her passion. And
Go Tulip.
yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
She wants to go to programming camp. There's a scheduling conflict with her and her parents, so she doesn't get to go.
Mhm.
But
Aw.
being the stubborn girl that she is, she decides to, in a Wisconsin winter, to pack up all her things and head out on foot to go to Oshkosh in Wisconsin to go to programming camp.
That
That's some
sounds
grit.
like a lot.
It's very similar catalyst and introduction as the Owl House.
Well, yeah, but that's just like a trope at this point.
It's a trope I'm very down for.
Mhm.
So she's like stumbling through. It looks like tundra, but it's just like the Wisconsin.
It's just
wilderness.
Wisconsin.
It's just Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, it'll kill you.
Yeah, and she comes upon.
There are cows that are frozen solid in the winter if you
Does that,
just
does
leave
that
them
really
out.
happen?
I've heard about it.
I know it happened in Texas recently.
Really? In Texas?
Well,
Yeah,
they had that
I mean,
huge
they
ice
had-
storm. A ton of animals died.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
negative 20s. That'll do it.
They
Yeah.
also had that statewide power outage because they decided not to join the national power source. Or
And the
Oh,
whole
God.
time,
No, we
Ted
don't
Cruz
get
was
it.
like, man,
We don't
Cancun's
get it.
nice.
Ted Cruz flew his family to like the fucking Caribbean or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he left his dog out.
Fuck Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
But
Ted Cruz times 2.
Is Ted Cruz a homunculus? We don't know.
We don't know. That's actually a really good question.
Ted Cruz.
Is he a homunculus?
I mean, he definitely looks like a human, but we know for a fact he's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the next best
Because
thing
he
is a
left his
homunculus.
dog at home and left.
He did
entire
leave his dog.
The most homunculous
Someone
thing.
took a picture of his house that he was gone, and you could see his dog in the entryway just staring out the window like, oh.
He left his dog alone in a home in the middle of the worst ice storm in recent Texan history.
Oh yeah, and he left the
With
entire
no
state
power.
of Texas with no power.
Yeah, but his dog.
Yeah, but his
Yeah,
dog.
but his dog.
I don't care about Texans.
No, anybody. No, we care about Austin. We care about Austin.
Austin's cool.
Austin's
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool, but it's still
shout
in
out
Texas.
to every.
Um,
no, shout out to Austin. Everybody in the
Shout out to
city.
Austin. Austin, we don't want to be in Texas, but we are.
Yeah, that's their slogan. Okay, so she
Unfortunately.
comes upon a magical train. Is it like it's like a green light bloop, there it is? Or it just, she finds the train tracks and there's the train. Do you remember?
I thought there was like a doorway or something, right?
I don't remember a doorway.
I like it.
I think she literally just gets on the train or sneaks on it.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, it's still like the same setup.
a
She's
gigantic-
transported to the magical train.
It's a gigantic, like, steampunking looking, but like if like steampunk existed in the Soviet Union looking train.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Soviet Union can build
Are you
shit.
familiar with Soviet Union like structure, architecture, and it's like statue art? It's what it looks like.
Unfortunately, yes, I am.
It's what
Take any urban planning class, and you will hear the shit that the Soviets did,
Mm.
especially in Cuba.
So
Oh,
what's
God.
special about this train is that inside each car, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars. I think it's infinite, right? Infinity train.
Ah.
Ah,
It's an infinite number of train cars. It's like each car is like a magical little universe
Right.
Ooh.
So there's like
built by the conductor.
there's like an
Oh, that's
entire
cool.
city in one car, and then there's a jungle in the next one.
And in one,
I
there's
like
a
that.
whole kingdom of corgis.
Oh, the Corgi Kingdom.
What's the king's name again?
Atticus.
Yeah, so Atticus, he's amazing, and he united the Pembrokes and the Cardigans together. And I love that so much. He brought together the Pembroke and the Cardigan corgis. It's one of my
No,
favorite.
I love that.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different cars. It's sort of in the vein of Adventure Time, but it's a little more grounded. But the wackiness in each car... Brody's got a picture of Atticus.
Yeah, this is Atticus.
I love him!
He rules over an entire Roman Empire-looking kingdom that's all just corgis laying in the sun and shit.
Yeah, and then one just blows the horn all day.
Oh, I love that too.
He's like, does he do that all the time? And he's like, whenever he can.
I love him!
It's Dog Society.
Yeah, it's Dog
perfect.
Society.
I love him so much.
So the whole premise of the first season, at least, is Tulip is on this train and she's trying to figure out how to get off. She's got a mysterious glowing number on her hand.
The numbers are important.
The numbers are important.
Are they though? Are they?
They're very important.
They are.
Why?
So the number represents how close you are to your exit car.
So you have to basically walk around up and down this train to get off?
It's not as simple as that.
It's not as simple as that. It's a little ambiguous in the show, but it's also kind of explained. It's like through you overcoming certain problems that you are facing in your life and addressing them, you will get closer to the car.
Yeah. The reason why you go to the train in the first place is because of some sort of internal conflict.
Yeah, some internal conflict that you're
that.
having. So Tulip, even though in the first season she's the one of the only other humans that you see on the train, it is fair to say that there could be hundreds, if not thousands, and millions of other humans on the train going through their own journey to solve a problem that they are having, either knowingly or unknowingly.
Mm-hmm. And they don't really talk about what the number is at first, right?
No.
So at first she just thinks oh, I just got to keep going through cars, and then the number will go down. She sees that that's not the case, though.
Well, no, because the cars lift up and move too. So you think you could move a few cars up, but unbeknownst to Tulip, that car can get lifted up and moved back.
Right.
As well. So the cars shift in order.
This is starting to remind me of Polar Express.
It's nothing like Polar Express. It is similar to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, though.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
And a character in particular.
Wait, hold on. The first Hitchhiker's Guide, because there's several books. Are we talking about
the movie? I've only seen the movie.
movie?
Yeah, the movie with Zooey Deschanel, Sam Rockwell, and what's his face? That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Martin Freeman,
yeah, that movie.
So you're
not
talking
Martin
about
Short.
the remake. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah,
I got you.
But
it's like that in general. So, but what the biggest parallel between them is one of the main characters, 1-1, which is like a yin and yang robot. He's a dual personality. He's got one depressed side and one really happy side. And he's kind of like Alan Rickman's sad robot companion from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I love it.
Yeah, 1-1 is amazing. I love 1-1 so much.
He's the comic relief and the voice of reason in the show.
Yeah, he's all of that wrapped into one.
Ha 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 ha.
Boom, boom. Anyways, the show is just wonderful. I can't speak enough to how amazing all the characters are. The voice acting is good. The different worlds created in each car. God, it's just like a creative boost of serotonin, is it not? Every time you get to see a new one. That
is interesting because they always come up with some super kooky thing with its own little rule set going on.
Yeah, and you have to figure out the rule set.
There's always the objective of you have to move to the next car.
You want to move to the next car, but are we going to spend time in here? And some of them are one is a bank branch that has pens and pencils that run it. It's a little Rick and Morty-esque as well too.
Well, you can do anything there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, it's similar in the themes.
Mm-hmm. What kind of themes would you say make it more grown up than your average kiddie show?
Oh gosh, well, I guess fuck you spoilers right now.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Tulip struggles, although there could be adults out there that are still dealing with their parents' split.
But kids have problems.
Yeah. So Tulip is a direct representation of something that over half of all kids experience in this country, and how she deals with it and how she remembers it and what it means to her, because there is a point in the story where the cat character who's wonderful, becomes wonderful later. You love to hate her.
Yeah, she's a menace for the most
There's
part.
She's a cat. Of course she's a menace.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
She ain't no Atticus.
There's
a Corgi King
they
that
have like
only
these
helps.
VCR tapes that they use as like a representation of like sort of like the memories of why you were here on the train. It's like a tool for the viewer to use. For Tulip, it was memories of her parents that she wasn't remembering correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of realizing how maybe things weren't as happy and wonderful as I thought they were. And it was kind of a device for her to use to realize that. That's just what the divorce stuff do. Then we have to get into the whole conductor thing, which is why I think it's a great show for adults too, because you have the conductor, or the pseudo-conductor, who is, I can't remember her name, but she's an older woman who lost the love of her life. And she is, got on that train, hijacked it pretty much, and has been using all of its resources to kind of rebuild her life so that she can live with her fiance again.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's really heavy shit. And Tulip becomes so mature by the end of the show, where she, at least the first season, when she's like, it was easy to hate the conductor when I thought she was just a big scary robot, but now that I know she's a person that went through all this stuff, it's hard for me to hate her or want to fight her.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think is important is the conductor's number. We always the number is sort of like your character development before you can really get off the train.
It is, yeah. It's a literal numerical
her number is huge.
It's a literal numerical representation of where you are on the path of healing.
She's fucked up so much that her number kind of covers half of her arm or something.
Yeah, she's never gonna find her exit card.
No.
And at this point, I don't even. Well, she doesn't really want to.
Mm-hmm.
And all that we know is that she's left on the train by the end of the first season.
Yeah.
She's the only one left.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean Tulip gets home.
Okay.
Tulip. Now, one thing I was confused of at the end, it's I guess they just threw her back into a happier timeline because she gets to go to camp as soon as she gets back. Or I guess her parents figured it out, or she's still on the fucking train.
Well, at the end.
Are we in a moment where it's
No, I'm reading too much into it.
Is this real or not? Are you still?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's real.
Well, at the end, she doesn't. When she passes by that mirror, she doesn't have a reflection.
Well, yeah, she doesn't have a reflection.
I know that kind of ties into what happens with book 2 with her reflection.
Yeah, because her reflection is its own character now.
But that is kind of a good point where it's maybe it is like that. Maybe it's a later day and she's just better okay with things, but it does kind of try to wrap things up in a bow.
I would have liked it. I would have liked it more if she came back and was like, "You want to know what? I'm fine with not going to camp. I know you guys have. We all have to make compromises or something." I think that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been.
That would have been pretty mature.
That would have been a better ending. I mean, I'm glad she got to go to programming camp, but I think the more adult ending would have been you know what, Mom, I know you have to work a lot. Dad, I know you have a lot going on, and this is hard for all of us. Mm-hmm. We all have to make sacrifices.
One thing I really like, and
that's hard for a kid though.
Yeah. One thing I really like, and this shows up in, I believe, season 3, you were asking if there's, anyone else on there, and, in theory, there could be more people.
There is in the second season, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there is that young, jock guy.
Oh, that's exactly where I'm going.
Okay, sorry.
There's the group called the Apex, and they're people who are on the train and have sort of been you know what, this is our new home. We're going to take what we want from the train and survive. And their idea is, oh, hey, the number on your hand, it's actually how good you are. And you're supposed to get the biggest number.
Which is the opposite of what you want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
So there's this whole little, Lost Boy gang of kids who are just, raiding new car trains and shit like that because they know for a fact that the things on the train aren't real. They're not people. Right?
They are.
Yeah.
Well, we know that, but they don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't blame them for going down that road. And actually, most people that were thrown in that situation, that's how they would end up.
Yeah. And then you
nature.
And that just kind of opens things up to people being like, hey, I'm just going to fucking kill this guy because I know he came from a train and he's not real. I'm going to fucking what they call wheeling someone, where it's exactly what they sound like. They throw someone under the wheels of the train. Yeah. People get murdered. People get murdered in this show on Cartoon Network.
Can I just say that there was a real-life example of Lord of the Flies? And the group of boys who ended up in this situation did far better than the book.
Well, good.
Like, they ended up taking care of
Bar's
each other.
pretty low, but yeah.
Yeah. They ended up taking care. One of them broke, like, a bone or something, and the other boys took such good care of him to the point where it's like, when they were rescued, that the doctor who saw to him, the boy who broke his arm, or whatever bone it was in the article, the doctor was like, there's nothing I can do because there's nothing I need to do. The boy was so well taken care of and his bone like healed so well.
Good
or
job.
is healing so well. I don't have to do anything.
That's nice. Most people would be at each other's throats. It's
I
true.
don't know. I like to be positive sometimes.
That-
Sometimes.
Yeah, that book would have been a
That's
lot
not spoken.
shorter if that were the case.
Yeah, that's not spoken for Zombie Rose.
No.
But
Zombie
sometimes-
Rose will eat you for sustenance.
Yeah, so there's adult themes and that we can all relate to on top of the trippy, hallucinogenic absurdity that are the train cars, which I know we all find appealing in cartoons, or I know I at least do. And then there's the Tulip, who perfectly relates to the struggles of a lot of teens and preteens. She's a very relatable character, wonderful personality, and I think she's a great role model for young men and women. It's really good. And
I like it.
Once again, it's short and quick,
I like it.
which is the best.
A lot of things that we can really observe from a lot of these shows that are meant to be from kids, but really, you know, it's a mature
for
audience to
everyone.
enjoy.
Oh, I
It's
have
for
another
everyone.
honorable mention, and it's Over the Garden Wall.
Yes, we forgot about Over the Garden.
Elijah Wood's voice acting is so good in that.
I didn't know it was Elijah Wood. I gotta watch it.
I'm pretty sure it's Elijah Wood. Let me double check.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm pretty sure it's Elijah Wood.
Gertie is attacking.
I know we've got one more thing to discuss today.
Yeah, so we've been talking a lot about cartoons, and they've been around for a while, stewing in the brains of people who would later go on the internet.
And we all know what the internet does.
The internet likes to ponder,
Hypothesize.
and create crazy fucking fan theories.
Yeah, it's Elijah Wood. Sorry, guys.
And
Oh,
we
yeah.
We'll Bernie pull
And
out
I
a few of the ones.
Compiled
that
a
we
little
found.
list, some of them regarding...
Things we've discussed and other things we have not discussed.
Yeah, exactly. I just picked ones from our favorite cartoon shows and things, and just wanted to see I just want to get the general yay or nay as to whether or not these are valid.
I'm down. Let's go.
All right. So I'm going to start with one that's pretty popular. Bikini Bottom is a nuclear testing site, and all the
Yes.
characters of SpongeBob are radioactive. Yes, you believe that?
Well, in the movie, don't they leave Bikini Bottom?
Mhm.
Yes.
And they're the same.
Mhm.
They're all weird fish. Yeah.
Could we even take this a step further and say that Bikini Bottom exists in the same universe as Adventure Time?
Possibly.
No.
I mean, like, no, wait. There are parallels there. There is like a
Wait,
weird
but
nuclear
in the
bomb
first
that
one- In
turns.
the first movie, David Hasselhoff's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one is Nickelodeon, the other one is.
That doesn't
So
matter.
what?
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
It's a theory.
Yeah, it's a theory. That doesn't matter.
I'm gonna say no on Jess's part, but yes to the whole nuclear part.
I'm gonna say if I'm gonna say yes to it being nuclear, it might as well be the same kind of nuke that turned Candy human.
Yeah, because well, we wouldn't really know too much because Finn hates the water.
That's true.
There's not that many underwater
David
episodes.
Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff can be in Adventure Time. I'm not
He's
saying,
not.
Well, not
But-
anymore.
He's
He's
not.
dead.
but no,
He's dead.
But the point is, it's not the nuke. It's a testing site.
I like testing site more.
All right.
Yeah, I like testing site more.
I do agree. It could be a testing site for the nuke that eventually, possibly.
But in the first SpongeBob movie, I don't know if there's other ones, but they ride David Hasselhoff's
There
back.
are.
Hey.
And they do end up in like a bait shop getting sold, where they are literally just depicted on the overworld as a regular sponge, which is hilarious, and a
Yeah.
starfish.
Yeah.
Was anyone
So
else
there's
really?
something to be said about that.
Was anyone else really confused when they first saw a sea sponge and was like, "This looks nothing like a sponge"? Oh.
So
Could I? For some
they do
reason,
get sponges from the sea, though.
Yeah.
Fancy
Mhm.
ones.
I
Like the really
somehow-
nice ones you see
Yeah,
at
but the
like
thing is,
Williams and
I
Sonoma
somehow
and shit.
knew what a sea sponge actually looked like
Before you
prior,
were SpongeBob.
prior to SpongeBob.
So you saw SpongeBob and thought, "This is bullshit."
His parents look more like sea sponges.
Oh, fun fact did you know that the creator of SpongeBob is a marine biologist?
Oh yeah, no, he totally does a lot of homework for this show.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's a marine
I will
biologist.
subscribe to testing site, but the only reason I don't fully buy into it is because in the movie, in the overworld, they look like a regular starfish and a sponge.
Yeah. All right, so general yay or nay?
I'm going to say nay. Yeah.
Yay and nay. Okay.
I'm getting too caught up on the movie.
I say nay just because I figured that would really change the landscape. Fan theory number 2, and this relates to Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Hey!
Monk Gyatso used a forbidden technique to kill firebenders when they attacked. So I kind of thought about this when we first see Aang visiting his old home temple. He realizes that everyone there is dead, and we find a chamber where we see Monk Gyatso's skeleton surrounded by a bunch of firebender skeletons.
We don't really get enough information about Gyatso's fighting style, though.
Well, we don't really know much about any airbending fire style because they're all pacifistic spiritual monks. However, what's stopping... If I can control the air in a room, and they did find him in a very tight room, what's stopping him from creating a vacuum chamber that'll kill everybody?
Oh, cool.
Right?
No, because we do see one of the prior airbenders talk to Aang. And with the episode I mentioned where he talks to the lion turtle, he actually summons a bunch of his past lives, from Roku to Avatar, Kyoshi.
And we see another airbender.
We actually see another airbender.
Another
It's
airbending
like,
avatar, yes.
Aang is like, maybe, okay, Gyatso doesn't understand, Roku doesn't understand, perhaps another airbender will. And the airbender says, whatever you have to do, you should do it to preserve the balance.
Right, that's more advice for an avatar than an actual airbender, though.
Yes, but she's still an airbender, though.
Yes.
So that says, while you shouldn't seek out violence, you should, at the very least, continue to defend oneself.
Walk softly and carry a big stick.
Right, and in
Speak softly, right?
Speak
But-
softly and carry
But in my
it.
case, if you were Monk Gyatso and you knew that the world was ending and you saw a big room of people who were about to kill you after they just killed all the rest of your people, you might have a test of spirituality. You might let loose a little bit. You might fucking off some firebenders.
I mean, we don't really see enough about Gyatso's fighting style. We see his teachings, we see some of his spiritualism that Aang wanted to remember. We have to, when it comes to Avatar, The Last Airbender, we have to remember that this is told from the point of Aang specifically. He's a very spiritual person, he's a very pacifist person. So what he specifically remembers is going to be more pacifist, it's going to be more spiritualistic, it's going to be more based on how he remembers versus how the world is. And that's kind of like a conflict for Avatar in general, is like adapting to the world and growing up.
Yeah.
Right?
I would also say that airbending is the one bending form that we know the least about.
Yeah,
Just because there's only Aang.
there's only Aang, and we only see a small bit about Gyatso, so I'm calling bullshit on this.
I totally believe it. I totally believe that there's more to airbending that he may have known that he saved for the worst possible situation, which would have been that.
I don't think we have enough information to say.
Then how'd the firebenders die?
I don't think that we have enough information to say that Gyatso was a pacifist.
You know what? I still say yay.
I say nay. Jess?
Oh, I have no opinion on this.
You abstain.
Yeah,
No,
I
okay.
abstain from a thought. I just think, well, if there's any reasonable doubt,
Yeah.
All right.
I have reasonable doubt for this one.
Here's another good one that I totally believe. This is for Steven Universe.
Ooh,
yeah.
I'm going to abstain.
Yeah. Gem placement matters in determining a gem's personality. Because you think
they get to decide where their gem goes. They get to decide every part of it. They're just light refractions. The gems are. Their physical forms are. It's explained pretty well in the show.
But you can't ignore that there is a correlation between it.
I think it's used as an artistic form to kind of show personality. Like, it's just used.
Because you think of characters like Lapis and Pearl, who both have them right on their forehead. They, of course, are more logical. Steven and Amethyst are both have them right in their stomach. They, of course, go off their like instincts or gut reactions.
Yeah, I think that's just was an aesthetic choice. But if we're talking about within the realm of the show, the way it's described to me is the gems get to entirely decide how that's why they're genderless. They are just physical representations of light.
Yeah.
And they get to decide how they want to be formed.
Is that a nay from you?
Huh?
Is that a yay
I'm
or
going to
nay?
say nay. I think well, artistically there was some thought put into it, but within the realm of the show, they get to decide how they're represented physically.
All
Amethyst changes up her look all the time. They're always changing their clothes. It's a decision the gems get to make.
All right.
I abstain.
Okay. Here's
Like,
one.
why would the one ruby have because all the rubies have them in different locations too, and they have similar personalities. Well, there's Eyeball, who's way more murderous than everyone else. Well, yeah, but it's true. But you know what I mean. Like for the most part, all of the I'll just call them factory version gyms that haven't been living their own lives, that have gone straight to the kindergarten
You
to
mean the
fulfill.
clones?
No.
Moving on to the next one. The Jetsons and the Flintstones take place in the same society.
I love that.
No, that's actually been confirmed by Cartoon Network.
Has it really?
Yeah, there is a crossover between the Jetsons and
There is a Jetsons Flintstones crossover.
But isn't that a
There
time
is.
travel thing?
Yeah, it is.
So the Flintstones.
Oh, so then it didn't. So no.
No.
So-
there is the Flintstones are the ancestors to the Jetsons, and there is a time travel crossover that proves that they are connected.
Mm-hmm. The theory I found was that the Jetsons live in the sky, and if you go down to the ground, you're going to find the Flintstones
It's
trying
because
to...
they have to be up in the sky because it's all landfills below.
Well, landfills filled with what?
Dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
No, they have real dinosaurs.
That would create such a depressing hierarchy of existence.
Oh, absolutely. But you can
Kind of
see
like
it
that
happen,
shitty
right?
Matt Damon movie Elysian.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
But explain to me then why they celebrate Christmas in the caveman times.
Well, because that show came out in
Because-
the 1960s, and everything
Yeah.
had to be Christian.
Yeah.
Then how
Yeah,
come
that's
they have
religion.
cars and jobs and trying to recreate the society of the above
That's
ground?
because nobody knew what a Neanderthal was. And yes, it is Neanderthal, not Neanderthal.
I'm gonna still say Neanderthal.
Take that.
Take that, internet.
I like that.
Take
theory,
that,
though.
print media.
I like that theory. I think it's fun, and I think it makes both shows a lot more interesting.
But there is.
I am a Jetsons fan, though. I do
But
like the
there
Jetsons.
is a lot. I'm gonna say nay because there is a logical reason. Cartoon Network has already addressed,
Yeah.
specifically Boomerang has already addressed this in their time travel episode where the Jetsons do go back.
My
in
God,
time.
you watch a lot of Boomerang.
That was my childhood. How do you think I ended up watching every Scooby-Doo episode?
That's true. I also am going to say nay just because, as fun of an idea it is, I just don't believe it.
It's not believable.
I'm gonna say yay just because I like how depressing it makes it.
Okay.
Okay.
I have another Avatar. I have two Avatar theories I
Ooh,
want
hit
to
me
talk
with it,
about real
hit me
quick.
with it.
I'm gonna start with the juicier of the two. Sozin killed the dragons to hide the true firebending natures.
I can
Are these
believe
real
that.
dragons or people?
No, these
Dragons.
are real dragons.
Like straight up, like
I can
like
believe
Chinese
that.
dragons.
No.
I believe that too.
I can believe that.
I believe it too.
It's believed that the dragons were killed off as sort of in sport, but they were saved, and they taught Aang and Zuko the true meaning of firebending.
Yeah, Iroh becomes, what is it, the dragon something?
The dragon of the
Dragon of the West.
Dragon of the West, because he's known as the guy
Grand
who killed the
Master
last
Dragon.
of the dragons.
Yeah, he's the one who killed the last dragon.
I
I
did
can
not
believe
like
that.
Brody is
I did not like
glaring
that.
at me right now.
I can believe that.
That was over
Mhm.
Rose's head.
Yes, it went over my head, and I do not
Because you're
anyone
pure
that
and
goes down.
innocent.
Because you're pure and innocent like
I'm
Buddy,
Buddy
the Elf. And I'm like Buddy the Elf's angry dad.
But that's another reason going back to
My
Avatar.
human parent?
That's another
Yeah.
that's another adult thing that I like about the show. It teaches critical race theory.
You're not wrong. I
It-
like it.
It straight up does. Everyone's fucking freaked out by the reality of it. But no, we have a very good example that's not offensive to anyone that shows that, hey, people kind of make society to control things like that.
Yes.
People will commit People will kill off an entire breed of dragons just to show that their way is right.
Except, there are always exceptions to the rule. Iroh is one, and so is Zuko.
Well, Iroh tried to save them. That's the thing.
Zuko ends up with a dragon.
Yeah. So do they. And they learned that.
I just would like to
also
say that
firebending
you guys
is-
haven't mentioned dragons once before.
Because
And we've
it
talked
wasn't
about
important.
this show a lot.
It actually wasn't important. It's in Book 3 Fire.
So, I say yay.
I say yay.
Jess? Convinced?
Yeah.
Yay.
Awesome.
I have another Avatar theory. Iroh uses tea as an example of balance between all the elements.
Yes! Yes!
Uses
I
earth.
agree!
It comes from the earth, you put it in the water, you heat it up with fire, and you blow on it before you drink it.
Yes!
I like that.
That's just cute.
He's always drinking tea. And when they
Tea's
first
wonderful.
get to the the Earth Kingdom, well, the first thing he does is drink some hot tea.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was served cold.
That definitely goes back to what we were talking about of everyone kind of mastering the elements in their own way. I totally say yay.
I say yay.
I say yay too. I don't know a lot about it, but that makes fucking perfect sense.
There was another one, and that's basically all the ones I had on my list that I knew we could open up a discussion for. I found a lot that just said, it was a lot like, oh yeah, and every character in the show is a figment of someone's imagination.
Or is dead.
I hate that.
Or
Yeah.
is dead, or
In purgatory, or it was all a
Purgatory.
dream. I hate that so
or they're
much.
high as hell.
That's not creative.
It was all a dream is the worst cop out you can ever do.
The worst possible uncreative way to wrap up a story, because you can do that for anything.
Unless it's like Percy Jackson, where it's like a prophetic theme or prophetic dream.
But what
They
would you
did
do
that
if?
in Twilight too, and people loved it, but I hated it.
Oh, that sucked in Twilight
Where
too.
it's
Yeah.
it could happen, and it is
You
happening.
think this whole amazing battle is going to take place, but it's actually just in Alice's vision that she's showing one of the Volturi.
Yeah. But what would you
But it
do
means
if,
nothing.
after the very first book of Percy Jackson, he just wakes up and it's like, oh, he was on the bus the whole time having a dream?
It's stupid.
Wouldn't you feel lost? Wouldn't you feel like you just wasted so much time? Wouldn't you feel like you got played as a sucker?
No.
That is how it makes you feel, yeah.
No?
No.
How would you enjoy that ending?
I would actually find it fascinating.
If
But
none
he's
of
still-
it was real,
but
and he
he's-
just woke up on a bus.
And
But
he
he-
woke up on.
And
so
he's still
Percy
just himself.
Jackson-
He doesn't have any character development. He just goes home and his dad beats him.
Well, that would be disappointing.
He
But
makes some mac and cheese, watch cartoons, and goes to bed. And he's not special. He's just as ordinary as he was before, and none of it meant anything.
Very upsetting.
that would still be fascinating to me. In the
To you.
context, in the context of Percy Jackson, that'd be incredibly
It
fascinating.
would be a total antithesis to everything that the book stands for from what you described it to me.
Yeah, it would be, which is why it's so fascinating.
You're a confusing person.
Yeah.
I'm very,
You're an enigma.
I'm an enigma.
All right. Do you guys have any fun fan theories you want to just throw out there real quick?
No, this is also the last episode before I go to Mexico.
Yeah.
So, if I don't make it back, let's, hope.
Oh my God! Stop.
You think you're gonna get taken?
I'm Buddy the Elf, but in a female form.
That's cool. I'll get on the
You
phone
really
and say
think I won't be
I have a
taken?
very,
I don't want to go
very
into the dark reality of
specific
it.
set of skills.
You think I won't be taken, Brody?
If you stay with your family and people,
Oh my
and
God!
if,
You're gonna be on a resort the whole time, just snorkeling and scuba diving with your dad. You're gonna be fine.
yeah, and if not, we have specific skills that will.
Hopefully you find me.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, you have no social media, so there's absolutely no way to ping you anyway.
Okay, then I
No,
got
I
nothing.
have one. No, I have one social media.
Tumblr does not count.
Tumblr, yeah, no.
Tumblr does not count.
You might as well use messenger pigeons.
Messenger pigeons would be more efficient.
I would not be able to ignore a messenger pigeon.
No, you can't.
Oh my God! If somebody sent me a
I
message
do Game of Thrones route with ravens because I think they're smarter, but
Yes.
Ravens or messenger pigeons, I would panic if I got a random messenger pigeon from somebody.
I think it might make my year or life.
I would
Yeah.
panic. But no. That's so by return. If I don't, I have a
This
lot
is
of
such a morbid
information.
way to end today's session, Rose.
It's kind of on point, though.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm supposed to talk about hypothetically dying in a plane crash, not you. Oh, no, you're talking about getting kidnapped. Yeah, you're not worried about the plane at all.
No, I'm not. I've got
In the meantime, we wish y'all thank you for watching us, and Flameo Hot Man.
Flameo Hot Man. Brody, where can they contact us?
Oh, right.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Crazy fan theories, perhaps?
Or cookie recipes.
Cookie recipes or ways that you can save Rose from possible kidnappers.
Yeah, man.
You can do that at oneframeoff@gmail.com. That's oneframeoff@gmail.com. Flameo Hot Man.
Flameon.
Flameon.
Flareon. Bye, guys. I just wanted to be included.